that, sir?
That, Charles, is my new Porsche 928 S4.
Shall I have the chauffeur put it in the garage?
Hire the chauffeur.
See your local authorized Porsche dealer.
Prop 95 says it will give bread to the needy. But who really gets fed? Right away, a new crop of bureaucrats takes a 35% cut for salaries and expenses. Then there's the cost of processing the 1.5 million citations and fines we'll all pay. And then there's the $11 million for 18 new judges to hear those cases. So what's left for the homeless? Crumbs. Vote no on 95. It feeds the bureaucrats.
Eye herpes.
And it is a very hot afternoon here. Temperatures will reach 100 degrees down on the field, and we're under sunny skies. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets here to bring you this important game. Both teams a game out of their respective division leads, and obviously a battle of the quarterbacks today, Dan.
Absolutely. Steve Young is going to get his second start for the 49ers in place of Joe Montana. Joe will dress for the game today. And on the other side, Neil Lomax. Hey, he's the fourth-rated passer in the NFC. Got to have a good day today and put some points on the board.
All right, we're ready for the kickoff here at Sun Devil Stadium. And the 49ers will receive, so it'll be Al Del Greco kicking off. For the Phoenix Cardinals, Doug DeBose is the deep man along with John Taylor, two players who are having fine return years for the 49ers. San Francisco in white, the hometown Cardinals in their Cardinal jerseys. 5-4 in the NFC East, the 49ers 6-3 in the NFC West. Both teams just a game out of the lead. It's DeBose from the 3-yard line of San Francisco. Taken down at the 21-yard line by Reggie Phillips. And Steve Young brings out the 49ers. He was the hero last week with a 49-yard run that won the game against Minnesota. He will face the defensive unit of the Phoenix Cardinals. Freddie Jonah having a great year at left defensive end. David Galloway starting for the first time at right end. Sadler moves inside. Bell, Noga, and Jr. the linebackers. A young secondary. Carter and Mack on the corners. McDonald and Lonnie Young are the safeties. One setback is Roger Craig having an outstanding year. He has the ball with a little running room. Close to a first down for Craig, pushed out by Tim McDonald. 851 yards rushing coming into the game. Number one in the NFC. Offensively, along with Craig and Steve Young, Tom Rathman, the blocking fullback, Wilson, Jerry Rice, bothered by an ankle, and Ron Heller, the tight end, for the injured John Frank. Wallace, Sapolu, Cross, McIntyre, and Barton, an experienced line, and they're playing very well indeed. Gene Stallings, the Phoenix coach, and not happy with the first down play. All week long, they practiced stopping Roger Craig, and on first down, he got nearly 10. Second and less than a yard. Rathman for the first down to the 33-yard line of San Francisco. Well, for an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger and our studios in New York.
Tim, for those folks who left the Los Angeles Rams Philadelphia Eagle game, the Rams finished off this drive with a touchdown. Everett to Buford McGee after the extra point, 27-23, 4:45 to go. We'll keep you up to date. Back to Tim.
All right, Brent, we are just underway here at Sun Devil Stadium. The 49ers with a first down now at their own 33-yard line. Craig the lone setback again, trying the right side. Turned inside with a little effort. Gets himself about 4 yards. Lonnie Young made the stop. The inactive players today for the 49ers, Bruce Colley, he's been bothered with a little back problem. Calvin Nicholas, an extra wide receiver. For Phoenix, their number one pick, Tony Jeffrey, and Andy Schillinger, an extra wide receiver as well. So we have now a second down and 6 for San Francisco. Steve Young, the quarterback. Montana is dressed today. Good play. Young steps up and he'll take off. Cruises out of bounds at the Phoenix 42-yard line. Got away from Tim McDonald, and Cedric Mack finally steered him out.
Well, I think the one thing that Steve Young does that displeases Bill Walsh a little bit is the fact that he doesn't sit in the pocket and let the play develop. Now you see him sit back there just for a second. Now he's already made up his mind. He's going to take off. Now he's doing something very smart. Now he's getting to that out of bounds, and you'll see him make tracks over there and head out to safety. That's the one thing that he's doing is very smart now.
I think you make a good point, but even Walsh there, I think, Dan, would say there was so much real estate in front of Young, and he is such a good runner. Can't mind too much in that circumstance. He turned it into a 21-yard gain. First down. In motion, Quaid. Deep drop for Young. Gets it off to the tight end. Good play by Heller for a first down to the 30-yard line of Phoenix. Heller nearly stumbled there, Danny, and then got his balance and wound up getting the first down.
And as a matter of fact, E.J. Jr. did stumble on the play when he was trying to recover and come back to Ron Heller. He slipped on the grass, and it's a little spot of turf that's torn up down there. And as a result, Ron Heller makes the reception.
So the 49ers opening series has them at the 30-yard line. There's E.J. Jr., the veteran linebacker, being pushed a little by the rookie from California, Ken Harvey. The junior still the man, 29 years of age, out of Alabama. First down inside the 30. Craig to the 25-yard line. Tripped up by Lonnie Young.
Here's the 49ers have been testing at the corners of the Cardinals defense, and one of the things that you try to do inside, now watch number 62, that's Guy McIntyre, right in the middle of your screen, and he's going to pull out and take the corner out there, and let's see how effective he is on E.J. Jr. Nice little throw there. Roger Craig tucks it up underneath. Noga misses the tackle, and Craig actually gets up and tries to get a couple extra yards, but hey, Roger, you're already down on the ground.
Well, that's the kind of year he's having, boy. He's going for it all any way he can get it. Second and 6, 49ers opening drive, impressive thus far. Young gets some time and overthrows high. Intended for Mike Wilson, number 85. Two defenders on Wilson, and it may have been that Young elected to throw that one away.
Right, put it in the cheap seats if you don't have the play downfield. That shows a little maturity, too, on the part of a young quarterback. You want to see him do those kinds of things. Everyone says, gee, why do you throw it away? Well, it's a smart thing to do, and I'm sure Bill Walsh has no problem with that.
Mack and McDonald had the coverage on Wilson. Third down. 6 yards to go. They have been strong in this department. On the short drop, Young overthrowing Craig. He had some pressure coming. Bob Clasby, the tackle, number 79.
He's one of your old Notre Dame guys, Tim.
Yes,
Bob Clasby was right in Steve's face. And the key there is, though, is he's in that throwing lane. And if you're a quarterback, you're sitting back in that pocket, trying to see where your receiver is, and you got a guy that's 6'6" standing in your way, makes it a little difficult to see over. And that's exactly what happened to Steve Young on that opportunity to pass.
So they got coverage on the first passing down when they needed to stop the 49ers, and they got a rush on the second one. So the field goal try will be from the 32-yard line. A 43-yard attempt for Kofer, and he has it. And that's his first of the season from outside 40 yards. A 42-yard field goal. He was 0 for 7 over 40 yards. And that's got to make the youngster feel good. Mike Kofer from North Carolina State, signed as a free agent, cut from New Orleans this year.
Yeah, there's no question when you're a kicker and you finally get hot a little bit, you can appreciate the fact that something's happening good for you. And I'm sure Mike Kofer is over there on the sideline now going, oh, I can't believe it, I got one through.
So the 49ers opening series results in 3 points. And there is a quarterback discussion over there. You know, I think a lot of people just assume there must be a sharp rivalry between Young and Montana, Dan. But last week, Young made a point of saying with Montana on the sidelines that Joe supported me, and he told me what was going on out there when we didn't do well. And it's clear that there's a good dialogue between the two, and whatever Montana's feelings are about not being allowed to play because of his injury, he'd like to play anyway, and that's a coaching decision. I'm sure that an experienced vet like Montana isn't holding it against Steve Young.
Oh, absolutely. He knows that that's a decision that's made up top, and he just is willing. He's not willing to accept it, but he knows it's something he's got to live with.
Eagles continue to lead the Rams by 3 points. A field goal and a big game for both of those teams. Kickoff taken at the 6-yard line by Derek McAdoo, just re-signed this week by the Cardinals, and he returned to the 27 by Sikahema. Had to go to injured reserve with a knee injury. Bill Romanowski made the tackle. So Neil Lomax leads out the Cardinals, and he will face this strong number 4 ranked San Francisco defense. Roberts, Carter, and Kevin Fagan across the front in the 3-man line. Charles Haley, sack leader with Ellison, Walter, and Keena Turner. McKyer and Wright, Fuller and Lott.
Sounds like a law firm.
Secondary. Yeah, it does. Snappy sound to it. First down. First offensive possession, Phoenix. Lots of time for Lomax. Good coverage, though. He goes to the swing man. Stumped Mitchell to the 45-yard line of to the 45-yard line of Phoenix. Pulled down by Eric Wright. 19-yard gain.
Two things happen on this play. The first one, the wide bodies up front give Neil Lomax plenty of time to pass. You see Haley, he's just getting run to the ground. Neil checks down and comes back outside to Stump. Stump is completely healthy. Watch these cuts. Got that bad ankle, but it doesn't look like it's hurting him today. And finally, Eric Wright makes the stop downfield. Mitchell missed the last 2 games with that ankle injury. But with Earl Farrell having such a great year, this is a potent ground game potentially for Phoenix, along with the passing game of Lomax. That's why they're number 2 in the league. Now into the eye. Farrell the lead back. Mitchell behind Farrell. Good defensive play by Kevin Fagan. Cutting behind the blocker and making an ankle grab. There'll be a gain of maybe a yard. Offensively for the Phoenix Cardinals, with Mitchell and Farrell in the background, you've got J.T. Smith, the veteran at wide receiver, with Roy Green, Robert A. Walt, the fine young tight end. Sharp, Pete, Kennard, Smith, and Robbins, the men now known as the wide bodies here in Phoenix. They've got their own T-shirts out and trying to become the Hogs of the West. There's Stump Mitchell. He's got that Cardinal shaved into his head now. That's dedication to your team. That sure is. CBS logo. I said, no, I don't think so.
It's also a very artistic barber. 2nd and 9. Quick player out to J.T. Smith. And he is short of the first down, but it'll leave 3rd and about 2. Eric Wright on the tackle. Wright coming off that groin injury. Earned his way back into a starting role.
J.T. Smith does Dr. Time there. The guy, is above 30 and still playing well in the National Football League.
30-24 now for the Eagles, and the Giants well out on top. Those scores important to the Phoenix Cardinals.
Atlanta beat Green Bay. Excellent.
Minnesota whipping up on Detroit. And the Bears, without Jim McMahon, beating Tampa Bay. 3rd down and 2. Cardinals in 49er territory. Short drop and a quick pass to Green into the turf.
When we watch this Cardinals offense, you notice one thing about Neil Lomax. He's taking some short drops and dumping the ball off very quickly. Now, I'm sure the thinking is by offensive coordinator Jim Shockers, I want to keep that pressure off Neil. I don't want him getting that sore hip hit too much. So let's get back there, drop back 3 steps, dump that football off so you can protect your quarterback.
I think Neil thought the receiver was cutting in. He saw him motioning with his hand, and reading his lips, I think he said to the coaching staff, my fault, threw it the wrong way. Greg Horn into punt. John Taylor, dangerous return man, leads the conference with an average return of more than 12 yards. Walzak, the snapper for the Cardinals, and Horn drops it down a yard deep, and it'll stay in there. Touchback. 47-yard punt for Horn, and word is that Randy Cross, with a slight injury, will be out for a play or 2 more. We'll keep track of Randy Cross, the starting center of the 49ers. And it's 3-0. The 49ers leading Phoenix here at Sun Devil Stadium on the 42-yard field goal by Kofert.
And you see the first final of the day, Minnesota 44-17 over Detroit. Minnesota knowing they've got to get back things working for them again. They hope to get into the playoffs this year.
And first down, Young under pressure was hit just as he released it. The intended receiver Wilson. But a good rush by the Cardinals.
Up front, your people have to stop in the middle. They have to stop that defensive rush right up in the middle, because that's where the quarterback can't see downfield. Now, look at number 79. That's Bob Clasby. Good escape move there. And Randy Cross turns around, and the guy's right in his face. There's nothing he can do about it. That has to happen up front with your offensive guards. In particular, Guy McIntyre's got to block that guy, Bob Clasby, number 79, for the Cardinals.
Cardinals looking for some motivation, found it in a quote attributed to Bill Walsh to his San Francisco media, that they wouldn't be facing the same tough defense as they had last week for Minnesota. Roger Roger Craig dances his way down the sideline and has the first down for the 49ers, and then some. Out to the 37-yard line where Tim McDonald forced him out.
Now this is going to be coming right at you. Number 62, Guy McIntyre. Good blocking inside there by crossing those guys up inside. Now watch McIntyre, number 62, pull around, lead the play for Roger Craig. Key block right there on number 41. That's Carter, and that springs our guy. He's going around the corner, and it's Roger Craig.
18-yard gain for Craig. Coming into the game, we mentioned 851 yards rushing, 51 catches, having a great year. Whistles everywhere as the pass to the tight end Heller will come back. Flags down at the line of scrimmage, indicating perhaps an early start by the Niners.
False start, number 61, offense, first down.
Jesse Sapolu, the guilty party.
You know, it's always easy to jump off inside. You see Randy Cross, number 51, is back in the ball game. You see San Francisco's penalties this year. I'll tell you what, you know, when you give up that many penalties, you get penalized that much, it's got to hurt your offense a little bit, just in terms of scoring, if nothing else.
So it's 1st and 15 for the 49ers, and they're back out of their 3-yard line. Play action. Up to Rathman. Good coverage on the play by the Niners. Cedric Mack. Mack hurt himself making that good stop on Rathman. And let's go to Brent Musburger for an NFL update.
Tim, the story with the Dallas Cowboys. Kevin Sweeney has thrown 3 touchdown passes coming off the bench. This one to Alexander. They're down by 8. The onside kick was successful. Inside of 2 minutes, Cowboys have the ball. Let's send it back down to 10.
All right, Brent. Well, you know, I've been waiting to see that Kevin Sweeney in there for Dallas. I liked what I saw of him last year, Dan, in those replacement games. And feisty young guy, good leader, good passer, obviously, as his college stats, but having to battle his way past Steve Pallure to get a chance.
Well, you remember a couple of weeks ago when we had the Cowboys, that's one of the things that Paul Hackett, their quarterback coach, told us. He said, this is a guy that can fire people up. But the question is, can he, you know, does he know enough about the offense to keep it going? We'll see today.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens the rest of the season, too, with Pallure and Sweeney. Cedric Mack, as you saw, made that really good stop on Rathman, holding him to about a 2.5-yard gain on the play and getting some assistance, but he's apparently all right. So it's 2nd and 12 for the 49ers. Ball at the 36-yard line. Reggie Phillips has replaced Mack on the right corner, former Chicago Bear. Craig up the left side. They shut him down after a gain of 4, and it's Nico Noga making the stop.
Once again, San Francisco's testing the out of bounds of that defense of the Phoenix Cardinals. Now watch Galloway, number 65 for the Cardinals. He gets cut at the point of attack. Lead blocking there by Sapul. Excellent lead blocking, and Noga comes over, slips in behind the play, and actually makes the tackle. But those guards for San Francisco are making some nice pulls, getting good spacing on it when their running backs are coming out, such as Roger Craig, and swinging out outside. The whole key, though, is to get out, give your running back a read on that pull, and that's what they're doing.
Pass rusher Ken Harvey, the rookie from California, is in. Nickelback Travis Curtis and linebacker Wayne Davis on this passing down. And we've got, looks like a timeout called by the Cardinals.
First charge, timeout, Cardinals.
Don't know quite what happened here. We saw that Carl Carter was the first man over to the sideline.
As you heard, this is a 40-second timeout. Tim, everybody may wonder, why do you put a linebacker such as a Ken Harvey on the field to rush the passer against a big offensive tackle? In this case, he'll be rushing against Steve Wallace, number 74, for the 49ers. But the whole thing is that this guy's got a lot of speed and runs upfield, very, very tough. And it makes it difficult for a guy that weighs maybe 300 pounds to put the brakes on and try to stop a guy that weighs 220 pounds. And the guy's got good arm movement as well.
I watched Harvey in practice the other day. Now, there's a couple of people that don't like the ticket prices here in Phoenix and still want to see the game.
Hey, their seats are lower than ours are.
That is on a cactus-topped mountain directly across the stadium from the broadcast booth here in this very colorful desert area. And we're tucked in there somewhere just in front of that CBS banner. There we are with a wave to you folks.
Yeah, I was telling them earlier, the only thing they have to do now is put the numbers on top of the players' helmets, and then we can tell who they are.
That's true, yeah. This is nosebleed territory. 3rd down and 8. Young to the sideline. In or out of bounds? Out of bounds. Taylor made the catch. Perfectly delivered pass by Steve Young, but about 6 inches wide of the target.
That's right. Taylor makes the reach here. Now you can see, I think it's his left foot that's going to go out of bounds. Oh, excuse me, it's his right foot that goes out of bounds first. Made the reception, but unfortunately for him, the foot was out just when he caught the football and got possession. But I tell you that the thing that you've got to like about that if you're a Steve Young fan is the fact that he's starting to get that, that distance and timing downfield.
So the 49ers stopped again, and it will be Barry Helton into punt. J.T. Smith replacing Sikahema in the punt return role. Sikahema, we mentioned, with a knee injury, has gone to injured reserve. And Helton, number 4 pick this year. Punt comes down at the 5-yard line, and J.T. Smith, who vowed to return him today, makes a pretty good one out to the 28-yard line of the Phoenix Cardinals. Ron Heller on the tackle. New Orleans with the early lead over Washington. Buffalo and Seattle are scoreless. Well, there's a hockey score. Kansas City with a safety apparently over Denver.
Baseball Royals.
Struggling Denver team, Dan. That is really something to see. Indianapolis on top of the Jets.
After that Monday night explosion.
A very vocal Eric Dickerson starting to talk about how many yards he's been running for last week or two. First down. Cardinals trailing 3-0 here in Tempe. Lomax with time. Roy Green could not hold on. Ball was there for him. You won't see him drop too many like that.
No, I tell you what, I know that Gene Stallings won't put up with it very long either. Roy Green should have had that pass. Hey, sometimes that sun is coming in your face. If you're looking back towards the quarterback, and I guess that direction is south, and what happens is you look back to the football and it drops down out of the sun just as you are trying to make the reception. But those are the kinds of plays you're expected to make as a wide receiver in the National Football League.
Double tight ends, Awalt and Novacek. On this play, second down and 10. Lomax 2 of 4 passing. Earl Farrell. That's the kind of running he's been doing all season long. Out to the 35-yard line, a gain of about 7. Larry Roberts on the stop, and Farrell with 642 yards coming into the game today.
Now, key blocking is up front. Watch these guys right in there. Those are the guys you want to watch. Now, watch Earl Farrell break it back in back of those blocks by Louis Sharp. That's why it's so important on the backside of a play to stay with the play. If you do, you give your back a chance to break it back and find some daylight on the backside. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Gene Stallings got to be happy with the play of Farrell, a real good team player getting his chance to carry the ball a lot this year, and has he been delivering. 3rd and 3 of sack. It's Larry Roberts, his 4th sack of the year. First of the day by either team, and Roberts will force the Cardinals to punt.
You see him playing, he's playing over offensive guard, number 91, Roberts. Now watch him take off on this play outside. Good, that's that underarm rip. Now watch him just go straight to Neil Lomax. Good underarm rip, good sack for Larry Roberts.
So on 4th down, punter Greg Horn will be in for the second time. John Taylor waiting for it back at the 25-yard line. Taylor at the 23. After the 35-yard line, a host of Cardinals straightens him up there. A 49-yard punt by Greg Horn. Well, from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, you're watching the 49ers and the Cardinals. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets. The 49ers scoring first on their opening series. Hofer's 42-yard field goal, the only points of the game with 5:40 to go here in the first quarter. San Francisco with 79 yards of offense, most of it on that opening drive, and they have the ball first down at their 35-yard line. Cedric Mack is back at his corner spot after taking a couple of plays out. Freddie Joe Nunn chasing Craig, but Craig gets away, and then Nunn runs him down from behind. Second effort by Nunn, and Craig winds up with about a 3-yard gain.
Freddie Joe Nunn the other day, he said, hey, look, the difference between playing defensive end and linebacker, and that's where he came in at as a linebacker, came into the National Football League, that is that now he can cut things loose. He doesn't have to think quite as much about where he's got to drop and all the rest of that. You can see that aggressive play coming to the fore for him now.
Interesting connection there with Nunn and Craig. As we look at the rushing yards, you can see the 49ers on top. His cousin is Michael Nunn, the middleweight champion who defended his title Friday night, and Roger Craig is Michael Nunn's brother-in-law. Steve Young intended for Jerry Rice. He could not hold on, and it'll bring up third down. Jerry Rice been bothered with that ankle injury. Cutting was the consideration, I guess, in getting him out of the game last week against Minnesota. He just wasn't cutting as well. And one of the other problems the receivers and the defensive backs are having is on this field, it seems to be rather damp. And what they had to do is turn this field around last night. That is that Arizona State played on it late, and now they've got to come back and design it for the Phoenix Cardinals. And you can see the second set of hash marks and the second set of numbers, and all of that tends to make that field a little slippery. You see some players slip in that secondary already today. Good point, Dan, as they were really pressed to get this field ready for the afternoon NFL game. Young gets some time and has his man Wilson. It'll be a first down, 49ers into Phoenix territory, but a flag down and holding is signaled against San Francisco. Reggie Phillips made the tackle on the play, but it'll come back anyway. Jerry Markbright, the referee, will have the call.
Holding, number 61, offense, third down.
Jesse Sapolu guards with holding. It'll bring it back to the 27-yard line. Sean McNanny comes in for Bob Clasby at left tackle. McNanny, number 95, acquired this year in a deal with Buffalo. You know, on the offensive line, when you start getting holding penalties and penalties called on you in general, and I'm sure Jesse Sapolo is finding that out now, the officials tend to keep an eye on you. They say, oh, he looks like he's having a tough day, so we're going to keep an eye on him, and that's how they keep catching you. Leaves a third and 19. First real test of the day for Young. Rolling left, sideline too high for Jerry Rice. And the 49ers will have to punt. So the Cardinals hold again and should wind up in decent field position here. J.T. Smith waiting for it at the 30-yard line of Phoenix. Barry Hilton into punt. And J.T. Smith, 33 years old, needs about maybe now about 10 yards to move into third place in the all-time punt return list today. Here comes the punt to the 25-yard line. And Smith returns into the 34, so Phoenix in pretty good shape here for this series. Jim Fonhorst made the tackle.
49-yard punt.
I know that Gene Stallings expressed some concern about having JT run back punts. He did not want to get his guy hurt. You know, he's his leading wide receiver, 33 years old. You don't want to do those kinds of things too much. So it'll be a first down from the 34-yard line of Phoenix. See if Lomax and company could get it going against this tough 49er defense. Carroll shifts to the eye. Mitchell hit at the line of scrimmage, struggles for about a 4-yard pickup. Well, we'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Rams-Philadelphia game. The Eagles outlasting the Rams 30-24. Sounds like a good one. Randall Cunningham with 3 touchdown passes. And San Francisco here at Sun Devil Stadium leading 3-0. The Cardinals have the ball. 3:41 to go in the first period. Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets bringing you the action. Short drop for Lomax, and he just gets it off. He was held there, and then a flag goes down late. I have a feeling somebody else was held there as well. That may be the case, Dad. Looked like somebody had him by the legs. Jerry Markbright with a call. And it is holding against Phoenix. And we'd like to welcome those who have been watching the Giants game, and another ding-dong battler, 29-21, as Sweeney brought the Cowboys back to make that closer.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 70, offense, second down.
So the Giants escape with another victory. They've been escaping for the last month, and they now move to 7-3. Philadelphia pulls to 5-5 for the Eagles' victory today. This crowded NFC East, a big game for the Cardinals here. Likewise for the 49ers, as they are a game back of the Rams and the Saints, and they're happy to see the Rams on the losing end. Second down and 17. Holt and Stubbs in defensively for San Francisco. Lomax in the shotgun, pumps once and then is too high for J.T. Smith. Lomax and Young both have been sailing the ball in this first quarter.
Now you take Neil Lomax back about 4 or 5 years ago, he would have run that football, no question. You saw there was a loop up front, left a big alley for him to run down the field, but he pulled up right on the line of scrimmage and let it sail. He knows that he's not going to be real effective if he tries to run with a bad hip, and certainly Gene Stallings is concerned enough about that to tell him to stay in the pocket.
Well, you can see the 49ers have had most of the offense so far in this first period. And most of that offense, however, came on their opening drive, which led to the field goal. 3rd and 16. 3 wide receivers in. Lomax getting some time. He can't find a man. Now to the short man. And actually, he may have been trying to get it deeper to J.T. Smith. But the tight end, Novacek, tried to reach up for the ball, and that wound up as an incompletion.
Well, both receivers were running the same route except at shorter distances, and actually it was a little confusing. And then Keena Turner almost picks the ball off. He's number 58 for the 49ers.
So the 49ers hold again, and Greg Horn will have to punt. Backcourt is John Taylor, standing at the San Francisco 27.
Yes.
High punt by Horn, really launched that one. Inside the 20 to the 18. Taylor straight ahead out to the 30-yard line. And a little extra pushing and shoving there on the return. Anthony Bell made the tackle, a 54-yard punt for Greg Horn. 13-yard return by Taylor.
It's no wonder when you get down in this kind of weather, you know, you can kick well and do all those kinds of things, because it doesn't take too long to get loose in this heat.
We've got 3:07 to go in the first quarter. San Francisco 3-0.
You hear the thunder, the call of
the 89 Pontiac Grand Prix does more than just offer you driving excitement. It guarantees it.
Get on your Pontiac and ride.
Take 30 days after you buy your new Grand Prix to make sure it's the ride of your life. If it isn't, bring it back. Your selling dealer will give you full credit toward another new Pontiac. Grand Prix.
We build excitement.
Guaranteed. The challenger, Sugar Ray Leonard.
I'm like his worst nightmare. I keep coming back to win again and again.
The WBC champion, Canada's golden boy, Donnie Lalonde.
After this fight, he won't want to come back again.
The motivation, not one, but 2 world championship belts in one night. November 7th, Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. Leonard versus Lalonde in a full tilt battle for all the gold. Brought to you by Coors Extra Gold Draft.
When he's working, when his work is done, a man wants a jean he can feel comfortable in. American Hero Jeans from Wrangler.
A lot of people are really going to feel the cold this winter, so add an extra layer of Owens Corning insulation. Owens Corning, we put your house in the pink.
Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets at Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona. We're in the 90s here under bright blue skies, and the 49ers lead Phoenix 3-0 with 3:07 remaining first period. Steve Young, the quarterback, and he is 2 of 6 passing as the mascot of the Cardinals tries to fire up the troops here. They've been playing well defensively, both teams have, as the score would indicate. Roger Craig, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage, a gain of maybe a yard. Bob Clasby on the stop. Steve Alvord is in at right tackle, giving Rod Sadler a rest.
Tim, this defensive line for the Cardinals has been doing an extremely good job up front in preventing any runs from taking place inside the defensive ends. And as you've seen all day now, that what the 49ers are trying to do is run on the outside. Obviously, they feel the outside linebackers might be a little bit easier to run on than up inside on that defense.
Well, that's certainly been shown to be the case. And, of course, with Galloway in at defensive end on the right side now, they've even added better pass rushing. It's a very good defensive line. Second down and 8. Brent Jones in at tight end. The pass to Rathman. Rathman almost escaped from the linebacker Noga, but Noga tripped him up, or he might have made it to the end zone. But it's a first down. 49ers out to their 47.
Now, if you're the middle linebacker like Nico Noga is, number 57, you know that you have got to stay on that running back when he comes out of the backfield. Now, Noga goes back in his drop, but he's not keeping his eye on Rathman. He's looking over the other side of the field. And the key is you got to see which one of those running backs is going to come out of that backfield, and you got to jump on that guy. But hey, he's got great pigtails, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I was hoping he'd leave those hanging out under his helmet. He said sometimes he tucks them up. First down. Craig trying to get wide, and good work by the Cardinals, but a great effort by Craig to turn it into about a 5-yard, maybe 6-yard gain. Noga and Lonnie Young, they strung it out well, Danny, but they couldn't stop him.
Well, the key, though, is that you're going to see Sapula number 61 and their number 62 McIntyre. Both of those guards are going to pull out and lead this play. Now, the backside guard tries to turn, and that's Sapula. Watch him turn back up inside and look for the linebacker inside. He gets a block, he throws it, but it's ineffective. And then Roger Craig really does the rest of that run by himself.
Does he ever? You saw him there just slip away from Noga, had a pretty good shot at him. And he picked up nearly 8 yards on the play. Second down. Craig high steps his way for a first down to the 36-yard line. Tripped up by David Galloway.
I tell you what made that play, though, was Tom Rathman had an excellent fake into the line of scrimmage, and Steve Young really carried it out. And suddenly the defense was frozen. They're getting ready to tackle Rathman, and then he turns around and hands the ball off to Roger Craig, and he gets good yardage up the middle.
Craig up to 55 yards rushing on 9 carries. This guy has just been in a zone since the season began.
You know, he told us early during the preseason that one of the things that's helped him this year is the fact that he dropped about 12 to 15 pounds because he's trying to get used to playing running back as opposed to fullback now, and that's really helped him tremendously this season.
Reverse, Jerry Rice. He got about 6 on the play, cutting it back into the middle. Clasby and Carter. Now the Cardinals were expecting to see that play. 49ers use it fairly frequently. And when you got a speedster like Rice, naturally you're going to keep trying it. So credit the Cardinals. They held them to about a 5-yard gain as we have completed the first quarter of play at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, with the score, the 49ers 3, the Phoenix Cardinals nothing.
Bring on the city, bring on the night.
If you like to drive, the '89 Grand Prix is a car you're gonna love. Pontiac guarantees it.
Yeah, Pontiac. Get on your Pontiac.
Take 30 days after you buy your new '89 Grand Prix to make sure it's the ride of your life. If it isn't, bring it back. Your selling dealer will give you full credit toward another new Pontiac. Grand Prix. Guaranteed.
There are several reasons why Coors Light is fast becoming America's shining light. It's fresher, smoother, and so drinkable that when you're out in the town, the Silver Bullet won't slow you down. Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. For all the right reasons, it's the right beer now.
They hit with this arm, and then they like swim with their left arm, and they get in this position. And if I got the offensive tackle in this position.
Cleveland, I talked to Bernie Kosar just a few minutes ago in the field, and he said his arm...
Coach Walsh told me that he's very concerned about Montana's overall condition because of all the injuries and battering he's taken in recent years. And Joe's leg and back...
their board of directors. Now, Sweetness is filling his time and making money, giving speeches and running the chain of night.
When you look for champions, you look to the NFL today on CBS Sports.
Okay. We're back here at Sun Devil Stadium at the 32-yard line of Phoenix. The 49ers driving. Steve Young at the controls. Ricky Hundley has come in at middle linebacker, replacing Noga here on second down and 5. And Roger Craig pumps his way for about a 3-yard pickup. Stopped short of the first down by about a yard. McDonald and Anthony Bell made the tackle. That'll leave third down and, well, almost 2 yards to go. And you can see 49ers rushing the ball well here. Clearly what they wanted to do. And when you've got Craig having the kind of year he has been having, you go for it. And so far it's been successful for them. But they've only got 3 points on the board. The opening drive leading to their field goal by Mike Kofer from 42 yards out. So it is 3rd down and about a yard to go. Curtis comes in defensively. Ken Harvey's in. And it is Tom Rathman for the first down to the 21-yard line of Phoenix. Ken Harvey made the tackle.
Well, that's just a day at the office for Tom Rathman. That's the play that he's expected to make. Certainly the 49ers say, hey, look, that's your assignment there. Get the short yardage for us. And he's the guy that always delivers for him. 304
yards rushing coming into the game, Dan, and he understands his role as primarily a blocker for Roger Craig, but obviously everybody likes to get a chance to carry it. He's doing just fine, thank you, for the 49ers. First down at the 21. Rathman again on first down and batters his way inside the 15, close to the 13-yard line.
Well, you look where Tom Rathman's center of gravity is. It's got to be about maybe 1.5 foot off the ground. And that makes it very difficult to stop a guy like him. The other thing that he does so well is that he keeps his legs moving and his knees chopping when he's coming through the line of scrimmage. And anybody that tries to tackle him usually gets a knee in the face, and that's not too comfortable.
Not at all. Junior, Hundley, and McDonald all put their chins on the line on the last one. Giants over Dallas. Some of you were watching that game. The others interested in that score as it affects the NFC East standings. The big game for Phoenix here. Coming in a game behind, leading Giants. Steve Young can't find a man. Now drills it in. Is it caught? Yes. Complete. The tight end, Ron Heller, with a real good catch. A Cardinal defender draped all over him.
Now, you know Steve Young wanted to run on this play, but he's maturing as a quarterback. He's number 8. He's going to pull out. Now, watch him sit back in that pocket very, very calmly and look downfield until his receiver, Heller, comes open. And he just dumps it off. Now, see, he could have taken off right there, but he waits for that tight end to get open coming across the middle, and he delivers the pass.
Exactly the discussion we had with Bill Walsh yesterday about his needing to get more patient and let the play develop. Perfect example there. So it's 1st and goal, San Francisco. Craig, touchdown. Surprising number of cheers, perhaps, to those of you looking in for the 49ers score.
This is where the play is going to take place, and right in here, that's where Roger Craig is running now. When he gets to the end zone, watch him run over. I do mean run over number 43. That's Lonnie Young. Lonnie plays off the block there by Rathman pretty well, but he turns around and runs directly into number 33, and I'm sure now he wishes he hadn't.
So the 49ers extend their lead, and it'll be Kofer trying for the point after.
Once again, the 49ers test the corners of that defense for the Phoenix Cardinals.
And Kofer has it. Gary Helton doing the holding. Normally a job done by Montana. So it is now 10-0, 49ers.
Even when all of Company B heads for the phone, it's no problem for Gail Godfrey.
Delta Airlines, Gail Godfrey.
Y'all fly to Lubbock, Texas?
Yes, that is confirmed.
I got some friends who want to talk to you now. Just hold on a second. Thank you. Cincinnati, Ohio. New York City. Monroe, Louisiana. Albuquerque, New Mexico. San Jose, California. Portland, Oregon. Butte, Montana.
You're all set. Thank you for calling, Delta.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Gail. Did you get many calls this afternoon? One.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
The challenger, Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm like his worst nightmare. I keep coming back to win again and again.
The WBC champion, Canada's golden boy, Donnie Lalonde.
After this fight, he won't want to come back again.
The motivation, not 1, but 2 world championship belts in one night. November 7th, Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. Leonard versus Lalonde in a full tilt battle for all the gold. Brought to you by Coors Extra Gold Draft.
You hear the thunder, the call of the road.
No time to wonder, you gotta
Leave it to Pontiac to give you the driving experience called Grand Prix. And leave it to Pontiac to guarantee it.
get on your Pontiac.
Take 30 days after you buy your new '89 Grand Prix to make sure it's the ride of your life. If it isn't, bring it back. Your selling dealer will give you full credit toward another new Pontiac. Grand Prix.
Rebuild excitement.
Guaranteed.
Who's
Southeastern Conference rivals in the thick of the hunt for a Sugar Bowl bid. The Bulldogs of Georgia battle the Auburn Tigers next Saturday on CBS Sports.
If you're in that defense and you look at Jesse Sapulo's stance, you know he's got to be pulling outside and leading that play for Roger Craig. Indeed, number 61 comes around, throws a great block there on Randy Hundley. And Roger Craig makes an excellent effort after getting a block by Tom Rathman on the corner.
Kickoff taken back at the 5-yard line by Ernie Jones. And he gets out to the 26-yard line, the rookie wide receiver from Indiana. So Neil Lomax and company with 11:56 to go first half. Now down by 10. They'll have to crank it up here. And we'll be back at Sun Devil Stadium with San Francisco on top.
Dear Dad, we made our toughest jump yet at dawn. I was kind of nervous, we all were. And then I remembered when you told me that real courage is putting your fear aside and doing your job. You see, Dad, here in the Army, the things I'm learning will help me get the most out of life and the best from myself. Dad, we were really something today. I know you'd be proud.
At UPS, we're changing the face of the international delivery business. Because now, UPS delivers to every country in Western Europe, the Pacific Rim, Down Under, and Canada. And because we're so efficient, we can deliver your international parcels and documents for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge. And let's face it, a drachma saved is a drachma earned. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Somebody ordered a knish. Where are you? Get it out. Service, please.
At the 2nd Avenue Deli in Manhattan, they recently added something new to the menu. The phone number of their Murata fax machine. The guys say that before they bought the Murata, things were pretty hectic behind the counter.
Just a second, darling. Don't you see I'm busy?
Murata fax machines.
Tim Ryan with Dan Jacobs here in Tempe, Arizona. Dan, I think that San Francisco running game has really been the difference so far.
Absolutely. They've been testing, again, as we said before, the outside perimeter of the defense for the Cardinals, and they've been successful out there so far today.
And now the Cardinals down 10 here with 11:56 to go in the first half. They start with the run, and it is Stump Mitchell getting about 4. Close to the 30-yard line of the Cardinals.
When you talk to Stump Mitchell and Earl Farrell, you get the feeling these guys are good friends because they complement each other so well in the running game. One of the things that Gene Stallings shared with us the other day is he said, hey, look, you know, these guys don't mind blocking for one another, and that's kind of unusual as running backs. Usually one guy wants to carry the load and have the other guy block for him. As a matter of fact, Earl Farrell said it was such a compliment to him to be playing with Stump that he would name his child after Stump if he has one. And the only thing is he wants him to be a little bit taller.
That's fair enough request. We're going to give him the name. Ewald in motion. A little trickery there on that play, and some trickery by the 49er sack team, dropping Lomax second time today. And it was Michael Carter, his 5th sack of the year.
Michael Carter is right in the middle. He's playing nose tackle. Watch him on the move against Derek Kennard. Now, one of the things that's happening is Neil Lomax is taking a 3-step drop. 1, 2, 3, sets up, drifts back a little bit, and that hurts Kennard because suddenly Michael Carter's working to that side, and Kennard can't figure out why. And suddenly you let your man go, and he's right on your quarterback.
Joe Bostic, by the way, is in at left guard for the Cardinals, replacing Todd Pete. Pete been bothered with a leg injury since last week, so Bostic coming in to give him a little relief. And on 3rd down, that's complete to J.T. Smith. Dropped the ball. A scramble for it, and it looks like maybe the 49ers have come up with it. They have. San Francisco recovering the fumble by J.T. Smith. Keena Turner, the veteran linebacker, comes up with the recovery.
Neil Lomax gets time to throw the football here. You're going to see Ron Wolfley. He's going to come across, block that backside linebacker. That gives Neil time to throw downfield. Now, the whole problem is J.T. Smith on the post pattern. He catches the ball, but now watch him. He just dumps it off right here. He's carrying it kind of loosely out in front. Wrong hand there, and as he's tackled by Fuller, the ball comes out. Now, these defensive backs for the 49ers are doing one thing that's kind of smart. They're going in and trying to strip that ball away from the receivers, and that's something that even a guy like Gene Stallings teaches his guys in the secondary. He says, hey, look, strip that ball away and get us the football back. But unfortunately for the Cardinals, it happened against them this time.
And now the 49ers with a 10-point lead have the ball at the 44 of Phoenix. Young on first down, wants to throw, complete to Jerry Rice to the 30-yard line. First down, San Francisco. Carter on the tackle.
Now, you're the quarterback in this play. Look downfield. You're going to see Anthony Bell, number 55, sitting in between you and your receiver. And watch Steve Young. He threads the needle on this one. Good protection up front. A little bit of a taste back there. Somebody's trying to grab him. But, hey, look, the defender's in back of your receiver, and Anthony Bell doesn't make the recovery in time to get in front of the receiver, so he squeezes it in there. And it works for the 49ers.
Rice, sore ankle and all, made a pretty good cut on that play. Young 5 of 11 now. Roger Craig, daylight. Out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Lonnie Young caught him from behind.
We said earlier that the 49ers were testing the corners of this defense, and indeed on this play, that's exactly what they do. Now watch this lead block out front. That's Harrison Barton, I believe, number 79, throws a nice block on the corner, and that really springs Roger Craig outside. Now, whenever you start running outside and you're having a lot of success, suddenly the defense is saying, well, these guys are always going to run outside, and that's when you spring that one up the middle. Harris Barton made a great play that time on an excellent block on the corner.
25-yard gain. He's now got 87 on the day. We're just in the first half. 12 carries for Roger Craig. Craig again to the 3-yard line. Nico Noga on the stop.
49ers have switched in some other people. Jeff Briegel, number 65, is in there on that offensive line. Now, watch up inside. Let's see what's going on down in the pit. Steve Young comes back, hands it off to Roger Craig. Good blocking up front. Sapullo can't get to his man out on the corner, and that slows Roger Craig down just a tad.
Well, you can see that they're playing below their average defensively against the rush, and it has hurt them in this first half because the 49ers have been running at will. Play action. Craig is sacked in the grasp of Bob Clasby back at the 10-yard line. Good job by Clasby.
Bob Clasby is one of those players that you turn around, you're not quite sure what he's doing, then suddenly you turn around and he's making the big play. Now watch him, he's over here right there. Now watch what he does against Jeff Briegel. No, he's number 65. Clasby keeps coming, that's the thing. Excuse me, he's working against the pool, 61. Comes around, takes the long route around, and he grabs Steve Young from behind in the grasp call. You don't want your quarterback to get hurt. You see the officials right there on top of the play, and they're calling it dead.
Clasby was not about to let go there. He had a hold of one leg like he was bulldogging a bull. At the 10-yard line, 3rd and goal. Alvord, Sadler, McNanny, Nunn, the front now. And timeout call by the 49ers. So we have 8:30 to go, first half. San Francisco leading 10-0 and driving.
Hi, I'm Candace Bergen. You know, when you're doing a new show, you can tell when the network is really behind you. They give you time like this to tell a little about
Murphy Brown.
Hey!
Coming soon.
He's Gene Stallings, head coach of the NFL's Phoenix Cardinals.
Over the years, I've coached some of the greatest athletes in the NFL, and I know the rewards of victory. But none have been more important to me than my work with this young man, John. When he was born, he was diagnosed to have Down syndrome. In some ways, he would never be like other children. For him, there would never be a chance to play in the National Football League. And over the years, I've seen him grow. He's 24 years old now, and his progress is measured with little victories. The times that we spend together are very special to me. John made this for me, and he made it with a great deal of love. The same kind of love that I have for him. Because you see, John is my son. You ready, Johnny? Let's go right. When you support the United Way, you're saying to people like John, don't give up. We'll give you a helping hand. You can make it. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Pontiac. We build excitement. Radio Shack, the technology store. And by new extra gold draft in bottles and cans. The one with the full tilt taste.
From Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona, 8:30 to go. Second quarter, San Francisco on top 10-0. Tim Ryan and Dan Jiggets. The 49ers have a 3rd down and 5 at the 10-yard line of Phoenix. This began with the fumble recovery by Keena Turner on a fumble by J.T. Smith. Quick pass intended for Craig, incomplete. And indeed, Lonnie Young had a better chance of catching it than Craig did. Young off the mark.
Well, Young was off the mark because he saw E.J. Jr., number 54, on the blitz, knew he had man-to-man coverage. He's going to try to go to that running back right away, and that's Roger Craig right up the middle. He can dump it off in there, and the timing is right. He's got it 6 points, but that time he threw it behind Roger, and now they'll have to go for the field goal.
Well, the second best offensive team, the Cardinals, you can see struggling mainly because the 49ers have had the ball, have been using the run effectively, and so therefore they've had the clock and a very good rushing amount of yardage today that has given them this second field goal attempt. Cofer from the 17-yard line and hits the 27-yarder, and the 49ers extend their lead. And so, as we have 8:24 still to go first half, the 49ers lead at 13-0.
.177 horses give Comanche so much power, but it's the name Jeep that gives it so much pull.
Save up to $1,700 on select 1989 Jeep Comanches.
Will your new car outlive your new car loan? Give your engine extra protection and help keep your car running like new longer with STP's new Supra Wear Control, so you'll have something to show for your investment down the road.
Oh, hot. Designer sweats, remote control, everything. VP at 28. Whoa. My imported beer, whatever's in this week.
When you're done kidding around, Heineken.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
This Christmas, I'm going to make sure my children stay in touch all year. I gave each of them Radio Shack sale price one-piece mini phone. Trim design, and it comes with a 13-foot cord, a mute button, and a convenient redial button. And best of all, it was on sale for only $12.95. I even bought one for myself. You think they'll get the hint? Hello? Why, son, what a surprise!
The mini phone on sale for $12.95, only at Radio Shack.
Back at Sun Devil Stadium, San Francisco leading Phoenix 13-0 with 8:24 to go here in the second quarter. And the 49ers will kick it off following the 27-yard field goal by that man Mike Cofer. Deep is Derek McAdoo, re-signed this week with the injury to Vi Sikahema. And taking it in the end zone will not bring it out. So Phoenix will start from their 20-yard line when play gets underway. When we return to Tempe, Arizona, after this commercial message.
Concerned about long life? Well, today's Duracell batteries live pretty near 30% longer than the ones from a few years back. They'll be around for a long time. Today's Duracell lasts 30% longer.
A psychotic killer, a desperate manhunt. Richard Crenna, Kate Capshaw, Internal Affairs, tonight on CBS.
Tim Ryan and Dan Jiggets, and here's our game summary. You see that Roger Craig has been the main man, 88 yards rushing and a touchdown, a pair of field goals for Kofor, and a big difference in offense in favor of the 49ers. Lomax, that pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. Might have been Larry Roberts who got the hand on it.
That's how you keep your running back cool. You just put him on ice and when he's not playing.
Well, it keeps one part of your anatomy cool anyway. And it's 90 degrees on the field, they tell us, so he's cut that down considerably.
That's what I like about those veterans. They always find the coolest spot. I'm surprised some of the offensive linemen aren't over there on that.
Well, they might have to light a fire under him when he comes back, though, right? Earl Farrell has first down yardage. Cardinals crossed him up on 2nd and 10, went with a run, and Farrell produced.
Earl Farrell, he gets back to business. There he is, number 31. Now watch him come through right over his right guard. Now he's going to hit that play up inside and then bounce it back. As we said earlier, it's important to keep your backside blocks on because it allows a guy like Earl Farrell and Stump Mitchell as well to cut back and find that daylight on the backside of the play.
Just the second first down of the day for the Cardinals. Keena Turner hurt on the play, and he'll get some assistance off.
He's had so much trouble with the knee and everything else. And you look at his calf, his left calf is really has atrophied from the injuries that he's had to that knee. And now that's the kind of walk you don't want to see a guy like Keena Turner taking. Because you're just afraid of this reactivation of that old injury.
He didn't start the season until the 4th game because of the injury, and spent part of last year on injured reserve. Been replaced now by the rookie Bill Romanowski, number 53 from Boston College, 49ers' 3rd pick this year. We see New Orleans ahead of Washington 14-7 in the 2nd period. I'll keep track of that game for you as it affects the NFC East standings. On first down, it's Farrell again, and Farrell winds up with about a 7, maybe 8-yard pickup at 110 against Dallas last week and continues to roll.
So we said earlier it's important to keep your blocks on the backside. Now watch what happens in here, because that's where the Cardinals have to be effective at, moving those people off the line of scrimmage, getting that nice scoop block back there, and that's where you see Tootie Robbins, 63, come back and keep the pressure on those guys, and that's what pushes that play ahead and allows Earl Farrell to cut up in the middle there and get some yardage.
2nd and 1. Cardinals at their own 42. Farrell again, the lead back, trying to get the first down, and it'll be close. Middle of the 49er line, converging on him.
You didn't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to figure out where they're going to run the ball that time when it's 3rd and 2nd and short yardage. You know it's going to be early, and you know they're going to send them right up the middle.
And they got the first down. Bobby Hebert's 18-yard touchdown pass to Robert Clark, giving the Saints the lead in that game. Denver's moved ahead of Kansas City. First down here for Phoenix at their own 45-yard line. 6:11 to go first half. Gene Stallings hoping they can keep the ball here. They've got to try and get back some of that time that San Francisco has dominated in the first half. Stump Mitchell ran into his own man and is knocked backwards for a loss. Derek Kennard pulling out the block created a traffic pattern for Mitchell. Let's get an update from Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, you mentioned that the Saints had gone ahead. Here's the touchdown pass. Hebert, Clark comes free in the end zone, and he's got it. 18 yards, 14-7, back to 10.
New Orleans tied with the Rams going into their game. The Rams losers today. So opportunities for the 49ers and the Saints. That pass complete. It was juggled along the sideline, but he held on. Roy Green. First down to the 46-yard line. Make it the 45 of San Francisco.
Talking about what you expect out of a pro wide receiver, this is what you expect. Roy Green, he's number 81. He's going to be on the left side of your screen. Now watch this sideline pattern. He runs, comes back to the ball, makes a nice pattern, nice cut, comes back to the ball, and that gives him the opportunity to catch it in between himself and the sideline.
Tim McKyer on the coverage. Roy Green, 31 years of age in his 10th year. Loose ball. Picked up by the 49ers. Earl Farrell fumbling it. And it was picked up, I believe, by Eric Wright. Ronnie Lott comes up with a loose ball.
And Earl Farrell is shaken up on the play. Tries to take this one right up the middle, and unfortunately for him, right in here, that's where he wants to run it now. He drops the ball just as he's cutting through the line of scrimmage. Good play there in the middle by Michael Carter, number 95, the nose tackle. That jams the play up on the line of scrimmage, and Ronnie Lott picks the ball up and tries to take off with it, but he's tackled right after he picks up the fumble.
Well, a second Cardinal fumble just as they were starting to move the ball effectively here. Late in the first half, a costly fumble. 49ers take over.
Tom Holmoe is one of the defensive backs for the San Francisco 49ers, was telling us the other day about how Ronnie Lott is a real leader for that team. He's one of those guys that keeps everybody together in the secondary as well as the rest of the football team.
And evidently the instant replay folks are reviewing the play. George Sladkey, question of whether or not he was down, I assume, could be the only question. If he's down by contact, that the ball would still be in the possession of the Cardinals. Now, San Francisco has a whole offensive unit on the field ready to go.
Here's another look at it. Again, it's very difficult to see inside whether or not he dropped that ball and his knees went down. But right there, that ball is already out and it's rolling on the ground.
First down, San Francisco.
And the instant delay tells us that the play stands.
Instant delay. You know I like that. First down, 49ers, second turnover by the Cardinals. Play action, Young going deep. And intended for Rice. And he stumbled a bit against the close coverage of Carl Carter. Looks like they collided. And I don't know whether Young would have caught up with that or not, but he definitely stumbled against the defender.
No, Rice is trying to put on the afterburners here, and you see him going inside on the post pattern for the route. Now the ball's thrown a little bit to his outside shoulder, and there he just stumbles just a little bit. He looked like he might have kicked Carl Carter's leg just a little bit when he was running, and as a result he stumbled forward and wasn't able to run under the pass.
Either that or Carter might have given him just a little push.
Well, yeah, you give him a little bit of the business, but just enough so the officials can't see it.
Second and 10. Jeff Riegel in at right guard for Guy McIntyre. Craig running hard, got about 8 yards on the play, banging off tacklers.
Well, Roger Craig is saying, get off me, guys. Now down inside, watch Briegel. He's the backside guard. Watch him pull out, lead the play on number 54, E.J. Jr. Right in the middle of your screen is where the block's going to take place. That springs Craig. He goes around outside, takes that little dip inside first, avoids Hundley, and gets some nice yardage on the play. Finally brought down by the secondary of the Cardinals.
Well, down on the field, we said temperatures approaching 100 degrees. Looks like it's right on the money there. So that's what the players are enduring down on the field here in Tempe. Third down a yard.
It's a dry heat, Tim.
Yeah, right. Rice on the reverse. Flags are down. He has the yardage to the 45-yard line. 2 flags thrown.
And Ron Sadler is saying that he was held on the corner. Is yet to be proven, though. Once again, the 49ers go to the outside of the defense of the Cardinals. Ron Sadler was right. That's kind of frustrating for your head coach, Bill Walsh. He's saying, hey, look, you know, we're finally having a lot of success running outside, and then we get the holding penalty now. Now we've got to go back and throw the football downfield.
Holding, number 62, offense, third down.
That's Guy McIntyre. He's the offensive guard for the San Francisco 49ers. Many times when you're blocking and trying to keep that outside hook blocking, that's what's happening here inside with number 62, McIntyre. He's turning that corner, and you see him getting his body around in front of his man, and that's when that holding penalty is called.
So it makes it 3rd and 11. Young steps up in the pocket, trying to run out. Another flag flies, and Young slides down near midfield. Met there by the linebacker, Wayne Davis, number 53, and the cornerback, Cedric Mack.
Yeah, Cedric Mack almost knocked out his own guy, Wayne Davis, on that play, trying to get to Steve Young.
But the first flag way back behind the line of scrimmage.
And I think it was holding again, and this time it may very well be on Harris Barton, number 79.
Holding the call, and we showed earlier the number of penalties the 49ers have had this season, well above the standard set by the demanding Bill Walsh.
Illegal block, number 74, third down.
Well, it's called an illegal block. Steve Wallace, is that likely in that outside of that cut zone, Dan? What do you think here?
Well, it's either that or the fact that he was blocking too far downfield on the play. But we won't get the answer from Jerry Marquardt right now. We're going to go back to live action.
Third down at the 26-yard line. With 21 to go for Young under pressure. They got him. Clasby again. Bob Clasby.
Bob Clasby, he's up inside. Watch him here on the pass rush against the 49er offensive line. He gets that good pressure inside. Now he's running the game. He's running outside, and you see Ron Sadler, number 70, Freddie Joe Nunn coming inside, and that allows Clasby to loop around backside and grab Steve Young without Steve actually seeing him.
So the Cardinals defense really came up big on that series, helped by a penalty. Nearly blocked the punt by Helton. Smith waits for it at the 36. Nice move by J.T. Smith. Slips his way out to the 43, and a flag flies downfield. 46-yard punt. Romanowski made the tackle, but there's a flag that came down after he had caught the punt.
It came from the far side of the field, so you have to believe it was something that happened on that side, coming back in just as the punt was received.
Cardinals were close to a blocked punt down there at about the 5-yard line. Reggie Phillips was the guy going in for it, and Barry Helton just got it off.
Illegal block, number 24, on the return. First timeout.
So we'll be back at Sun Devil Stadium with a timeout. San Francisco leads.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Yesterday, when George Tucker left the Allstate Claim Center across the street, he figured the only thing that'd bring him back was the pie he'd discovered. Unfortunately, the long, hot drive home exposed other minor damage that had gone undetected. Just the kind of thing Allstate Hidden Damage Protection insures him against. So today, Allstate gave George another check and a great new excuse for more pie. Allstate Hidden Damage Protection, another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
In 1859, Isaac Cook created a great American champagne to launch the great American clipper ships. Today, Americans are still launching celebrations with Cook's Imperial American Champagne. When your ship comes in, celebrate with Cook's Imperial American Champagne.
You want to move one scout leader, 6 tenderfoot scouts, and over a ton of trailer. Introducing the new Plymouth Voyager. With plenty of room, power, and the highest customer satisfaction of American minivans, backed by 770 protection, the front-wheel drive Plymouth Voyager proves yet again the 9 most important words Plymouth knows. Satisfy the customer. Satisfy the customer. Satisfy the customer.
Now, Plymouth Voyager has been named Motor Trend's top minivan. Again.
Between them, they've won 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. The Bears battle the Redskins next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets, and Lomax just connected with Roy Green for a first down to the 42-yard line. And now into the hurry up they go. The Cardinals with 2:14 remaining first half. Lomax pumps once and fires now. It's blocked, knocked down by the linebacker, flagged down Ricky Ellison. And I think he pushed the receiver before he pushed the ball. It was intended for Stump Mitchell, and I believe they're going to nail Ellison with interference.
The mistake Ricky made is probably had that left hand on the back of Stump Mitchell and reaches over and tries to hit it with the right hand. That's a classy move.
Pass interference, number 50, defense, automatic first down.
Classy move by the veterans, and usually they will get away with it. Now from the end zone shot, number 50, that's Ricky Ellison. You'll see him on the left side of your screen. Stump Mitchell comes out on that little en route there here right now down on the helmet on the field. Now watch here. Ellison's got that left hand on his back and reaches over and reaches with the right hand to push the ball away.
So it's a first down, Cardinals at their own 48. Man is Farrell, sneaking out of the backfield and gets a pickup of about 9 on the play. Turner and Lott combine on the tackle.
Did you see that 49er defense? As soon as they see the receiver downfield, they look like sharks on red meat. There's about 6 or 7 of them just attacking. As soon as they see that ball's been delivered and the guy's running with it, they're on him.
So we've reached the 2-minute warning, and San Francisco leading 13-0.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Maybe you should try something else. My dandruff shampoo really works.
Maybe you should try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors and pharmacists recommend Selsun Blue more than all other leading brands combined. What that means to you is no leading brand gets rid of dandruff better than Selsun Blue. It's #1.
And all Selsun Blue formulas, including extra conditioning and extra medicated, have the ingredient recommended most by doctors.
A lot of people are really going to feel the cold this winter, so add an extra layer of Owens Corning pink insulation. Owens Corning, we put your house in the pink.
First, Gillette made shaving closer, then made it smoother. With Atra Plus, its Luber Smooth Strip glides the razor over your face for Gillette's smoothest shave. The Atra Plus system. First, we made it closer, then we made it smoother.
Looking for that perfect camcorder? Exactly. The Zenith.
Zenith?
Yeah. Uses a full-size VHS cassette. It has the latest professional features, and it's fully automatic. Great. Or, if you want something smaller, yeah, the Zenith. Zenith. Compact VHS. Autofocus. Really easy to use, and it's surprisingly affordable. So it's the Zenith. Or the Zenith. I think I'm leaning toward the Zenith. Good choice.
Back here in Tempe, San Francisco leading Phoenix 13-0. Cardinals with the ball under the 2-minute mark. And earlier today, the Giants over Dallas 29-21 to move to 7-3. Philadelphia beat the Rams 30-24 to move to 5-5. And New Orleans leading Washington 14-7. Redskins coming into the game like the Cardinals at 5 wins and 4 defeats. Second down, less than a yard. Lomax sacks. What an effort by the 49ers. Pierce Holt, the rookie, with a blocker pushing him around there. Somehow he got an arm out there and pulled down Lomax, Dan.
Well, Pierce Holt's one of those 28-year-old rookies now. He's number 78, and you're going to see him come into the right side of your screen right there, and he just crashes into Neil Lomax.
Farrell drops the ball, and the 49ers have it. Third Cardinal fumble, 2 of them by Earl Farrell. Tina Turner comes up with a loose ball. His second fumble recovery.
Now, Earl Farrell, again, is carrying that ball fairly loosely. He's number 31 right in the middle of your screen. There he gets chopped at a little bit. Now he swings that ball back, and just as he swings it back, it comes out of his hand, and it's on the ground, and Keena Turner makes the recovery on the fumble. It was second one of the day for him.
Ronnie Lott who made the hit on Farrell, and as you pointed out, Farrell kind of gave him an opportunity there the way he was carrying the ball. He didn't get it tucked in, and Lott knocked it loose. Turner came up with it.
Keena Turner out of CBS High School in Chicago.
First and 10 49ers. That was a big turnover by the Cardinals. Young up the middle to Jerry Rice. Takes it out of bounds at the 39 of Phoenix. 1:25 to play. Lonnie Young forced him out of bounds.
Jerry Rice looked like my golf shark. Started left and went right. Got out of bounds and saved the clock a little bit here. And the 49ers are, I'm sure, looking at thinking, hey, field goal right now, but if we can get down to the end zone, let's get to 6. But at the very least, we want to get the field goal.
Well, the Cardinals were moving the ball there. And that was a costly fumble indeed. They're all costly, but there, had they gone in to score, change the complexion of the game for the second half considerably. It's 49er ball. And Craig trying to pull away from Ricky Hundley. And Hundley held on, and Craig wound up with a gain of maybe 2.
The way it looked like Ricky Hundley might have needed a little bit more of a load in that wagon to bring Roger Craig down. He took him about 3 yards downfield on the trail. Ricky's from Arizona. He ought to know how to bring down those steers.
Hundley came over from Denver in the trade earlier this year. Incomplete. Out the right side. Intended for Wilson. And it's third down with 57 seconds left in.
It's another situation where Steve Young can show some maturity if he's got the timing in the 2-minute drill to throw the short passes and to be effective in understanding the 2-minute situation. You got to get your receivers out of bounds to save the clock. Those are the kinds of things I'm sure Bill Walsh is looking for right now out of his young quarterback.
Third down and 8. Slot to the right. And out of the slot to give it to Roger Craig. 5 Cardinals waiting for him over there. But he turned the corner effectively and still wound up with about a 6-yard pickup. Travis Curtis and Wayne Davis on the tackle. And the Niners take a timeout with 48 seconds on the clock. And we'll be back at Sun Devil Stadium with the score, the 49ers 13, Phoenix nothing.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
13-0. Bill Walsh got to be pleased with both the play of his running offense and also the good fortune. 3 turnovers committed by the Cardinals in this first half. Roger Craig, Dan, has gone up to 109 yards on 16 carries, and we're still in the first half.
Now, Tim, yesterday, Steve Young asked us when you were going to play tennis with Bill Walsh. He says, "Hey, please let Bill win, so he's going to be easy on us tomorrow." Did you let him win?
Yes, I did. 7-5-6 love. You can tell how I let him win.
Legs win, huh?
Steve Wallace has gone out with an injury. Bubba Paris in to replace him at tackle. Young connects with Wilson and gets down to the 12-yard line. And in the hurry up with 38 seconds and counting down. 49ers threaten again. Young quickly out, right on the money to Jerry Rice. Out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Carl Carter driving him out.
Anyone who was wondering how Jerry Rice is doing with the ankle and whether or not he can make the cuts, I think he's answered all those questions today, making a nice reception there from Steve Young. Young throwing a nice out pattern with a good speed on it as well.
Rice wasn't pleased not to have played more last week against Minnesota. When the press asked him after the game, he said, well, you know, the coach said I had to stay out of there, but said, as far as I'm concerned, you have to play with some pain. But Walsh likes his guys at 100%. Today, it looks like Rice is feeling real good. Second down. They need to get to the 2 for a first down. Young pumps once, comes back the other way. Nobody there. Throws it into the end zone. Flag down at the line of scrimmage. Tim McDonald had the safety blitz pressure on Young. Looked like he was trying to throw a pass back in the opposite direction, but something broke down there. Wound up just being thrown away.
Illegal motion. Number 80, offense, second down.
Rice charged with the illegal motion.
So that means from Jump Street, really, the play was gone. The 49ers will reset it 5 yards back.
Sixth penalty against the 49ers.
You can see Joe Montana cooperates in this whole scheme of things, and I know there's been a lot said in the San Francisco media about the relationship between he and Walsh and Steve Young, but Joe Montana's a class guy who's going to sit in there and make sure that his team is a winning team.
Second and 11. Short drop, quick pass, complete, but good coverage by Lonnie Young on the receiver Craig out of the backfield, and virtually no gain, and another timeout call by the 49ers.
Lonnie Young did two things right. He prevented the play from making yardage, and he prevented Roger Craig from getting out of bounds, which means that the San Francisco 49ers have to burn another timeout.
So they have none remaining, and the 49ers would love to get some more points on the board here as they head into the locker room. The Cardinals had a good drive going here, under 2 minutes, but the fumble by Farrell is second of the half cost them dearly, and the 49ers now could well get more points on the board, at least a field goal from this distance. So in 15 seconds of playing time, we'll be going to the NFL Today. Our studios in New York, Brent Irv and Dick Butkus will have scores and highlights from around the rest of the NFL activity today. And of course, those earlier games involving the Giants and the Eagles of interest to Cardinals fans, and the Rams who played at Philadelphia, losers today to the Eagles, giving the 49ers a look ahead. San Francisco coming in at 6-3, and the Rams are now 7-3. New Orleans tied with Washington last report. They're also a game ahead of San Francisco. Third down play. Young. Incomplete. Intended for John Taylor. Tight coverage. Well played by Travis Curtis and Cedric Mack.
Cedric Mack is going to be on the left side of your screen. He's number 47. Now watch him on the coverage. As the receiver comes across, that's Taylor, number 82. Watch how closely Cedric Mack plays him on this play, number 47. There he goes, just jumps in and strips the ball away from John Taylor.
So that brings on Mike Kofer. He's got 2 field goals already, one from 42, one from 27. Barry Helton will hold for him from the 20-yard line, a 30-yard attempt. And it's good. So Kofer is 3 for 3. And with 8 seconds on the clock, the 49ers make it 16-0. So an uphill climb for the Cardinals in the second half. And they have mainly hurt themselves, but credit the strong running game of the 49ers, because they had a lot of clock time in this first half, Dan.
They sure did. And one of the things that I'm sure that's going to happen at halftime is Gene Stallings is going to go into the locker room, and he's going to show his displeasure with the way the first half worked. And I think you're going to see a different functioning Cardinal football team in the second half once Gene makes his feelings known to the club. You kind of get that feeling when you're talking to him. You know, this guy should be doing voiceovers on commercials and whatnot. He's got the voice. He's got the voice that sends chills down your spine, too, if you're not doing your job.
Yeah, and a little of that kind of John Wayne approach to things, too.
He's the Duke of the NFL.
Listen up, partner. New Orleans and Washington tied at 14 on the Doug Williams 1-yard touchdown run by Williams for the Redskins, with just 22 seconds left in the half. Squib kick. Farrell from the 25 out to the 39-yard line with 2 seconds left. So whether the Cardinals will throw it deep or just lie down, we'll see in a moment. 1 play left for the Cardinals.
I would suspect that the way things have gone for them in terms of losing the football in this first half on turnovers, that Neil Lomax will take the knee. One of the things we can look for in the second half, though, is the Cardinals are a second-half ball club. They like to come back strong in the second half, and certainly that's got to be on their minds now as they prepare to head into the locker room for the half.
Well, they're facing number 4 defense. It's going to be a difficult chore, but they've got an explosive offense. 4 wide receivers, so they're going to give it a try. But Lomax cannot get it off. He is sacked by Michael Carter. So that's the end of the first half with the score. The San Francisco 49ers 16, the Phoenix Cardinals nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. The American Express card. Membership has its privileges. And by Plymouth and the 9 most important words Plymouth knows.
All airplanes are created equal, built by the same people. But after they're built, something happens. People don't think of all airlines in the same way. Just look at all the business flyers that have flown with us over the years. Maybe it's that we fly to more business centers. Or maybe it's how we fly to more business centers. United, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
From pregame through postgame, you'll know because they know.
So here we go, a 26-yarder.
Good for home. He's 4 for 4. The biggest little man in South Bend. In the middle, twists his way, finds an alley. Now it's just the Clarion Outline.
When you look for champions, you look to college football on CBS Sports.
Welcome back to New York, everybody. Well, earlier this afternoon, Irv Cross was very happy. The Rocket Man, Randall Cunningham, 3 more touchdown passes. Jim Everett was intercepted 4 times, but he had his moments. Right here to Ellert, underneath, slips free, and the Rams forge a 10-10 tie. Back come the Eagles. What about running back Keith Byers?
Keith Byers has been used primarily as a pass receiver coming out of the backfield this year, Brent. He caught 42 passes going into this game. Here he picks off one for a touchdown.
Now here is a very strong candidate for Rookie of the Year in the NFC. The rookie tight end from Oklahoma, Keith Jackson. 2 more touchdowns today, 5 on the season, and the Eagles still alive now in their quest for a playoff spot. Another moment that I want to bring Dick and Irv in on. And Andre Waters on a blitz and a very questionable tackle. He has got Jim Everett at his mercy. And Dick, how do you feel about this?
Well, I don't think there's any, there's no reason for this. Now look, he comes in from the outside. He's got a clear shot at Everett. Everett's not even looking, and he goes for the knees. I mean, if he wanted to shake up Everett, I mean, hey, hit him in the chest area or in the shoulder area, knock him down. I mean, there's no reason to go for the guy's knees. Come on.
You know, I think a play like that, Waters should have been ejected from the ballgame. Now, there wasn't a penalty called on it, but I'll bet you that the Rams will call the league office, complain about it, and some kind of a fine will probably be assessed. He should have been kicked out of the game.
All right, and Dallas and the Giants. Now, the Giants survived. That's the storyline here. The Cowboys may have discovered a quarterback. Here's how it looked early on. Lawrence Taylor, who was forced out with a shoulder injury, on the sack, forcing the fumble by Steve Piller. Eric Howard recovering it. The combination for the Giants, they hooked up twice, Sims and Baker, and the Giants forged a 26-0 lead, and was a celebration just a touch premature at this moment. Kevin Sweeney, 3 touchdown passes. What about Sweeney?
All right, I've been on Steve Buller's case about throwing off his back foot. I'll tell you what this kid did today. He didn't throw off of any feet. I mean, he was running around, scrambling, jumping up, passing. I mean, he just, you know, he lit a fire. I mean, there's going to be a new quarterback next week in Dallas, I think.
All right. Speaking of lighting a fire, Boomer Esiason keeps one ablaze down there in Cincinnati. 3 more touchdown passes, but Eddie Brown had a monster of a day.
Great combination. The Esiason to Brown. Of course, Brown averages about 23 yards a catch. Here he picks one off there. They have everything going for them. The highest scoring team in the league, and, you know, they're just unstoppable right now.
And the record is 8-2. Speaking of unstoppable, Doug Flutie has yet to lose in Sullivan as a collegiate or a pro. But there's another member of the Patriots I want to talk about right here. John Stevens. He's a rookie from Northwest Louisiana State. 3 straight games with 100+ yards rushing. He's a candidate for Rookie of the Year over the AFC, and the Patriots, as usual, beat the Dolphins again. Atlanta and Green Bay, the Falcons again demonstrating that they're a little bit better than we thought. What's the reason for it, Irv?
Well, Chris Miller, for one reason. The guy who just threw the ball, makes a great throw there, and Gene Lang makes a great catch. But when Miller's on the field, Atlanta takes on a completely different kind of complexion. They're a competitive team.
All right. Now, quarterback's the issue. The Minnesota Vikings come with Wade Wilson today. 28 of 35 for 391 yards, Dick, and 2 touchdowns.
Well, Wade Wilson, that's 2 games in a row. But you know that he's played great. But the thing of it is Detroit and all these teams that have lost, if you look at the rushing stats, I mean, You know, Detroit had, what, 88 total yards, 67 yards rushing. And what that means is you have to throw the ball, and there's no chance. I mean, you're gonna give turnovers. So you make it really difficult on yourself if you don't rush the ball.
Let's take a look at how the Chicago Bears did it today. Because, of course, that was the big story coming into this week's action. Mike Ditka up in the hospital, having suffered a heart attack. Everyone sending along their best. Jim McMahon out. And how did Mike Tomczak perform?
Well, this is what he did. Usually he drills it in there in the coverage, but this time he ran the ball. He scrambled twice, kept the drives going, and led the scores.
I want you to watch this next sequence. He throws a terrific touchdown pass here to McKinnon. But watch the helmet butt. And then afterwards, Coach Mike Ditka called him in the Bear locker room.
As soon as I walked in the locker room, they grabbed me and told me to go in the training room and talk to him. And he was pretty elated. He said, Mike, you did a super job, son, and continue to work hard this week. We got a big ball game. But tell everybody as a whole they played well. I'm very happy for him.
All right, so Mike Ditka got what he wanted most of all. Now, high school football, the #1 team in the country. Brockton, Mass. was beaten, and perhaps you've heard about this Loyola High School team out in Los Angeles. They were forced to the wall late in the game. They were trailing, and here's how Loyola pulled it out of the fire.
The give around the left side comes forward. He's across the 25 to the 20. The 50 to the 10. Look out, he's going to go all the way.
The celebration on the sideline, and then a familiar figure. That's your son, Dick.
He's a good announcer, but he's got to work on his dress code a little bit there. I was just talking to him. He's got the tie. He's got to get it to blend with, with his darn shirt. Come on.
Well, you can see where the good looks come from. You know what I mean?
He should be wearing
forget the shirt. You know, forget the shirt.
We'll continue with the NFL today, right after these messages from your local stations.
Coming of age
is Prop 99. Join with California's leaders and vote no on Proposition 99.
I just figured out why Jack in the Box calls these taquitos. They're crunchy like a taco. They're beefy like a burrito. Taco, burrito, taquito. I guess they could have called them Baracos.
Introducing a new Mexican finger food, taquitos. Shredded beef in a rolled corn tortilla. Only at Jack in the Box. For exciting new taste, this is the place.
Oh, and you can dip them. Hey, Torpedo!
More small businesses start up in California than anywhere else. The smart ones will choose business phone systems flexible enough to grow with them.
Oh, one last thing. Have you thought about a phone system?
Not yet.
Call Pacific Bell.
But how can I know what I'll need?
Don't worry. You can start small and add lines as you need them. And it's in their office, so you don't have to buy all that expensive hardware.
Good.
For phone systems designed to help a small business succeed, your best call is to call on us. Pacific Bell.
It's the Family Feud, weekday mornings at 9.
So games now in progress. New Orleans and Washington, they have gone to the second half deadlocked at 14. And what about Doug Williams?
Got a pretty good first half. 11 for 13 passing for 104 yards and 1 TD, and he ran in, hobbled in for 1 touchdown.
And, of course, the game you're watching, San Francisco so far has had it fairly easy, 16-0 over the Cardinals. And Dick, with Joe Montana watching and Steve Young handing off to Roger Craig.
Oh, this Roger Craig, you know, you've got to get to him early. You just can't let him run free like that and get some steam up. You know, the guy's got 109 yards already. Come on, you got to get to him.
It's only the half.
Yeah.
Buffalo leading Seattle, and that's a key game in the AFC, 10-3 up in the Dome. Denver over Kansas City right now, 14-5, and the Jets leading Indianapolis by 4. And we will continue with the NFL today right after this message and a word from your local stations.
Now, what about the Stanton judgment? Tough case.
We won it.
Nice work.
I had a great team.
Bet you she gets a great raise, too. Our next junior partner should be getting some good financial counsel. Call my Prue Bates broker.
Rock solid.
At Prudential Bates, rock solid means an all-star team behind you, armed with the strength and resources to win.
So, big gun make you a partner yet?
Bang. Prudential Bates Securities, rock solid, market-wise.
Extra strength Alka-Seltzer has more of what you take Alka-Seltzer for. More medicine, more bubbles,
for fast relief of heartburn with a headache, try
Extra Strength Alka-Seltzer. More of what you take Alka-Seltzer for.
The new Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system has been an amazing success for those who prefer shaving with a blade. Electroblade's vibrating twin blades glide so easily you'll get the closest, smoothest blade shave you've ever imagined or your money back.
McDonald's presents Holiday Huggable Muppet Babies.
What nuts, Kermie? Love 'em, hug 'em, Muppet Babies, hug 'em.
Right now, get your kids Baby Kermit, Baby Fozzie, or Baby Piggy. They're soft, huggable, and only $2.19 each with any McDonald's food purchase.
Muppet Babies at our place. You can love 'em, hug 'em. Good night, Baby Piggy. At McDonald's.
A portion of the proceeds of each Muppet Baby plush toy will be donated to Ronald McDonald Children's Charity.
Why do the insurance companies put Proposition 106 on the ballot? It's not going to lower insurance rates.
Oh, they admit that. It just limits legal fees.
But not for all lawyers. Actually, it's only for 10% of them.
Only 10%?
That's right. There'd be no limits on fees for insurance company lawyers. In fact, the only lawyers whose fees would be limited
Are the ones we need to make the insurance companies pay us what they owe us.
Our lawyer, but not theirs. That's not fair.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style. UPS, we deliver to every address in the U.S. and to 41 countries worldwide. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light.
Back at Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona, the San Francisco 49ers putting the Phoenix Cardinals in a deep hole, 16-0 at halftime. And Dan, certainly the dominance of the 49er rushing game, giving them more clock time, has made it difficult for the Cardinals. Now, will they just abandon their attempt to run, start to put it in the air right away?
I don't think so. I think for the Cardinals offense to be effective, they've got to run the football with Earl Farrell and Stump Mitchell. But the one thing that Neil Lomax wants to do now is try to look a little bit further downfield. He's been doing a lot of that three-step drop stuff in the first half. I think he's got to look a little bit deeper, and that means taking a deeper drop, and that means those wide bodies up front have to give him some protection.
That means we might see Charles Haley in his backfield a little more often.
That's right. Well, see, that's the key, though. If they can keep that pressure off him and let him drop back deep, then they're in great shape.
Well, you can see the 49ers with a big rushing differential, 153-48. Roger Craig over 100 in the first half. Passing, neither quarterback throwing all that off, and Young is 9 of 19, Lomax 6 of 11. Of course, the 49ers, as we said, rushing effectively, and it shows on the clock there. Their first drive used up 6 minutes all by itself. So Neil Lomax knows that they've got to make something happen pretty quick here. Whether they stick with that rushing game to set it up, we'll certainly find out fairly early. But I don't think you want to go into the fourth quarter down 16-0, Dan.
No, but the the Phoenix Cardinals are a come-from-behind team. They like to do it in the second half, and we'll see what happens for them in regard to that. But certainly this guy, Neil Lomax, is the guy that's going to get it all started. And I finally said St. Louis.
Well, you've had a lot of company. Don't worry about that. Here come the Cardinals, the 49ers, and Barry Helton, their punter, who's done his job. Steve Young, center of your screen there, the quarterback today making his second start. Joe Montana is in uniform today, if you've joined us along the way, wondering about that. Montana with the irritated muscle problem in his back, an irritated nerve, actually, that is related to his previous problems. It's kind of an unusual press conference this past week. They got Dr. Michael Dillingham, the team doctor, involved in it because of all of the controversy in the Bay Area with the media speculating on Joe's condition, whether he could play or not, and Joe's own feelings about not getting in and talking about possibility of a trade, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But Bill Walsh has really been consistent, Dan, in saying that, hey, this guy's my #1 quarterback. He is the starter, but only when he's 100% healthy. He's not 100% today, and so Steve Young is getting his second start.
And it was kind of apparent in talking to Bill Walsh yesterday that he's getting a little tired of all of this discussion about the quarterback situation. He said hey, look, I've been trying to be as consistent as I possibly can on this whole deal, and every time I turn around, there's another question about it. There's nothing that I can do to make, to make Joe Montana healthy again. Until he's healthy, I want him to sit and rest and come back at 100%. And that makes a lot of sense if you're looking at going down into the playoffs, getting into the stretch run.
16-game schedule is not a 10-game schedule. So Montana, who obviously feels better this week. Had a good week of practice, and things weren't bothering him as much. And that's why they dressed him today. Last week they had Todd Santos dressed in the lineup, replacing Montana, who watched from the sidelines. But it is Young continuing at the controls through the course of this game, and he's got him on top 16 to zip. And it's now up to the Cardinals to try to get something going. Young had that exciting 49-yard run last week. His teammates were boggled by it. Montana said, "I laughed as he dove into the end zone. I would have passed out long before then." Quarterback coach Mike Holmgren banged his fist on the wall, hurt his hand watching us. It was amazing. Hadn't done anything as silly as hurting his hand since he was coaching in high school. From the 5-yard line, Derek McAdoo for the Cardinals gets out to the 28. And Lomax and company will go to work. Sam Kennedy, reserve linebacker, made the tackle on the kickoff play. And here's what Phoenix problems been in the first half, Dan. You can see they just haven't been able to move it.
And some of those possessions have had good field position, but they just have not done anything with it. You know, they had one drive really in the first half that they were kind of effective on, and then Stump fumbled the ball. Excuse me, Errol Farrell fumbled the ball on that play.
3 turnovers, 2 of them by Farrell, 1 by J.T. Smith. This is Mitchell. Mitchell gets to the 28-yard line where Michael Walter made the stop. Walter with 59 tackles coming into the game, 34 solos. Having a fine season. He's kind of the quiet guy in that linebacking core. And that 5 rushes, 5 yards, that kind of says it for Mitchell and the rushing game of the Cardinals. You know he's capable of more than that, but they simply haven't had the ball enough, and they haven't given him any room to move.
And really, the Cardinals have not gone to their tight ends, Awalt and to Novacek yet.
And second down, Lomax trying to find an open man. Grounded that ball. Intended for Smith coming back to it, but it was simply a bad pass by Lomax.
Neil knows as well as anyone, and he just short on that one. One of the things that they've had some success with, those, is going to Novacek, who has a hamstring pull, and as a result hasn't really seen a whole lot of action this past week. And Robert Awalt is extremely effective as a tight end. Those two guys you expect to see very involved in the passing game, because that frees up those outside guys, J.T. Smith and Roy Green, for this offense. But Novacek really has been no factor in the passing game today.
6 defensive backs in now. Homo and Griffin joining the secondary for the 49ers. And 3rd and 10. Lomax escapes from one guy, but not the second one. It is Pierce Holt with Larry Roberts. 5th sack of the day by the 49ers.
Hey, it's Pierce Holt, 78 again, and he gets a little help from Larry Roberts. Now, Pierce Holt's number 78. Now, watch down here along this defensive line. Watch those guys come off the ball, get good pressure up at the quarterback, run that little game inside, underarm rips there. You see number 78, that's Holt. He comes off the block, avoids Ron Wolfley, and gets the sack. That's the kind of effort you look for out of those young defensive linemen. As I said before, he's not that young, but he certainly is a rookie.
26 years of age out of Angelo State, their number 2 pick this year, and Bill Walsh very happy with it. Punt taken at the 35-yard line by Taylor, and good coverage forces him out at the 39. A 40-yard punt, Tim McDonald with the hit.
And the side judge that time, I think, gets the award for the longest flag throw in the league. He threw it about 30 yards, I guess. So I'm going to give him the award for the longest flag throw in the league.
Yeah, it's way upfield. Might have had somebody leaving early at the line of scrimmage.
They must have left early from the airport as far as he threw that one.
Well, you can see we're getting the unofficial signal there from the Cardinals' Ricky Hundley.
Players are always willing to help out on the calls.
Holding, number 25, receiving team, while the kick was in the air. Penalty is enforced from the possession spot. First down.
Doug DuBose gets the flag, and it goes against San Francisco and drops them back to the 25-yard line. So Ricky was all over that caller.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Steve Young brings out the 49ers, a 16-0 lead for San Francisco. Craig. A discouraging run for the defense by Roger Craig to the 45-yard line. Lonnie Young and Carl Carter finally got him. This guy is hot.
Oh, Roger Craig is just unbelievable. He gets a good lead block by number 74. That's Steve Wallace. Now watch Wallace pulling outside on the toss play. Gets a nice clean-out block there. Now watch Roger Craig hot-fitting it around here. Now avoids a couple of tackles, goes back up inside. And now watch him take a couple of guys up the field and get maybe 2 or 3 extra yards on the play. Hey, this guy's unbelievable. Oh, boy.
29 yards for Roger Craig today. We're just into the second half. Tom Rathman got just about a yard as he was stopped by David Galloway.
I tell you what, when you look at an offense and you see a running back make those kinds of runs, you have to get excited about it, even if you're on the defense. And you watch somebody making those cuts and those slashes and avoiding tacklers and then running over people. That's everything you can ask out of a running back. Now Tom Rathman gets excited. He's in the backfield. They hand the ball off to him. He wants to look like Rodgers, so he tries the same thing. Except the fullback's only designed to make a couple of yards in the play.
It's going to be hard to look like Roger, I'm afraid, for Tom. Hard for most guys in the league, the way he's going this year. 2nd down and 8. Mike Wilson has the first down. A flag flies downfield. Cedric Mack on the coverage made the tackle.
The flag was thrown back towards the line of scrimmage, and it may have been an illegal jam on the line of scrimmage. Jerry Markwright is the referee. He'll get it all squared away for us.
Holding call against Phoenix. And Steve Young consulting with Mark Bright to see where the gain was compared to the penalty yardage.
Steve Young really hooked up very quickly on that slant pattern.
Holding, number 55, defense, penalty declined, first down.
Anthony Bell picked up the penalty for defensive holding.
Chances are he was working against the tight end Ron Heller and held him up at the line of scrimmage. You hold on to him too long past that 5-yard area, and then get that penalty.
Rod Sadler has moved out to right defensive end. Steve Albert comes in and tackle. Galloway gets a rest. This is Terrence Flagler. Flagler, his first carry, picks up about 3 yards inside the 40-yard line where Freddie Joe Nunn makes the stop.
Tim, I'm sure that Jesse Sapullo and Guy McIntyre are going to go back and ask Bill Walsh, Bill, can you bring a couple more guards the next time we play down in Phoenix and you want us to pull 25 times in the ball game? You're going to lose 5 or 10 pounds doing that. It appears to be Tim McDonald, number 46, that's down on the ground injured.
Second-year man from USC will get some attention, and we'll take a break and return here to Sun Devil Stadium in a moment.
Your man in Washington has come through?
The Americans will be most displeased. Observe. The argon-activated radio-optic laser light.
Amusing, Boris, but the party demanded Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Where is Boris? He is enjoying a cold one.
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
Announcing the totally new Cadillac Fleetwood, the state-of-the-art in 6-passenger luxury. From the Fleetwood 60 Specials 22-way power assist seats to standard anti-lock brakes and V8 power. Decidedly, the most discriminating automobile in its class.
Cadillac, Cadillac, Cadillac style. Cadillac, Cadillac, Cadillac style.
This is not the time to learn that all antifreezes aren't the same. What's in your radiator?
Come on, answer.
With the designed-in sound of a Delco Electronics music system, now the best seat in the house is in your GM car or truck. Delco Electronics, it's who we are.
Well, let's take a look at the NFC West picture here, because Philadelphia defeated the Rams earlier today, and the San Francisco leading here. Washington on a field goal by Lohmiller has gone ahead of New Orleans in the third quarter, 17-14. So the Saints and the Rams coming in a game ahead of San Francisco today, but the Rams losing, falling to 7-3. A huge game for the 49ers here as we head into the second half of the season. And they have the ball and the lead at the 39-yard line of Phoenix. And it's likewise a big for the Cardinals. Started the game out of first place in the East. Craig stopped by Noga and Harvey after a gain of about 4 yards. Let's call it 5 for Roger Craig, and it'll leave 3rd down and a long yard inside the 35-yard line of Phoenix. In this period, San Francisco dominating as they have throughout the game. Cardinals have just been unable to move the football without turning it over. 3 wide receivers in. They run the ball. Roger Craig has the first down inside the 30. Ken Harvey made the stop. California Bear fans know this young man as he was the #1 pick this past year out of California.
And he's going to come from the outside of the right side of your screen to make the stop. That's Ken Harvey. Now watch him come into there. He's making the play, playing off of the lineman that's trying to block him. Does that very nicely. And that's Steve Wallace is trying to block him and goes right in and makes the stop. That's what you ask for out of the outside linebackers, particularly young ones like Ken Harvey. He's really been coming along, and Gene Stallings seemed to indicate in the last couple of games he's been fairly pleased with the way that he's playing.
Jesse Cipolu comes in at left guard. Rather, Abrigo comes in for Cipolu at left guard. Play action fake to Craig. Deep for Rice, and it is incomplete. Broken up in the end zone by Cedric Mack.
Cedric Mack, number 47, makes an excellent play here. Now, he knows that Rice is going to try to go for that post. Now, watch him play the ball very nicely, reach over the back. Key there is he did not have that left hand on Jerry Rice's back, and as a result, he gets away with the slap away. And, hey, it's a great play for a defensive back to make.
Cedric Mack has taken a little heat here and there since becoming the starter at that right corner. And when you can defend a guy like Rice on a play like that, that sends your stocks soaring up. 2nd and 10. For the post again to Rice, same play, and that time Young overthrew it.
Well, Steve Young checked off, called an audible. He saw they had that 46 of that bear look in the defense, and that's when he wanted to go one-on-one because he knows all those linebackers are going to be coming on the blitz situation. So he's got Jerry Rice isolated out there on Cedric Mack, so he wanted to go for the post again.
So that'll bring up 3rd down.
Montana's sending in the signals. And you saw Bill Walsh pull the trigger.
190 yards of production for the San Francisco 49ers. Cardinals simply have to stop him here. It's 3rd down and 10. Can't give up any more points. Complete to Terry Greer, his first catch of the day, number 83. First down, 49ers to the 16-yard line.
Terry Greer comes across underneath of the defense. He's going to be number 83. Now watch him slide back across the middle of your screen. He was in motion. Now he comes back up underneath, and Steve Young just pops it right in there to him. He makes a nice run after the catch and gets tackled finally by Tim McDonald, number 46.
Terry Greer out of the Canadian Football League, played in the replacement games last year. 3rd-year man out of Alabama State. Signed as a free agent this year, and he's become a handy receiver for them. Wilson, Taylor, Rice, and Greer, they're pretty solid. Big hole for Rathman down to the 5-yard line. A little sagging, it seems to me, Dan, by this Cardinal defense now.
Well, they certainly have had a lot of time on the field. And I know Gene Stallings has got to be saying, hey, look, just stop him here and get the offense on the field. But now Tom Rathman, number 44 for the 49ers, comes back on that little slant backside. Now watch him take this play. Now jams it up in through the line of scrimmage and punishes a couple of defenders there before he goes to the ground. But this guy runs so low to the ground that it's so difficult to tackle him.
235-pound fullback out of Nebraska, and he's got 33 yards. Flagler's in there with him now. 1st and goal from the 5. Flagler to about the 2-yard line, tripped up by David Galloway. Flagler just activated this year from this week, from injured reserve off a foot injury.
Now, Tom Rathman, number 44, watch his block. It's going to take place out here in the corner. Now, let's see what he does to number 47, and that's Cedric Mack. Now Tom Rathman right there delivers the blow, and then goes down, cuts his man, and that gives Flagler an opportunity to get that yardage up front. The guy just ran for about 6 or 7 yards. He comes back and makes another nice play on the block. That's an unusual kind of a feat for a fullback.
Rathman really proven he is a big leaguer. 12th play of this drive, and more clock time being taken away from the Cardinals. Second and goal. Young finally lets it fly. Touchdown, Brent Jones. Young took quite a hit after he released the ball. Freddie Joe Nunn decking him out near the 20-yard line. But he played that play perfectly.
And Steve Young, I'm sure, is asking Jerry Markbride, hey, can't you give me a break on that? Steve Young does not get to enjoy his touchdown passes very much or his touchdown runs. Here he starts out to the right, moves back to the left, has some patience now. He's waiting for the play to develop. Little fake pump there. Now he's going to find Brent Jones in the back of the end zone. Just waited in there long enough to get Jones open in the end zone and fired the ball into him. But then he got knocked down. The guy runs 49 yards and can't get the chance to watch the play because he has to dive in. Now somebody knocks him down.
Hofer for the point after. He's got it.
Conversion attempt.
So the 49ers now with a commanding lead here. 7:20 to go, third quarter. As we watch Young taking the hit here after he released the touchdown pass. The 49ers comfortably on top.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under sunny skies above. Don't fence me in.
Now UPS delivers to every country in Western Europe, the Pacific Rim, Down Under, and Canada. And because we're so efficient, we can deliver your international parcels and documents for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge.
Don't fence me in.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Nature's light, bathing fields of grain, enriching full, fresh hops, giving life to sparkling streams, nourishing all the natural things that go into making Bud Light. The light beer that's beechwood aged for a clean, fresh taste that makes Bud Light the one light that outshines them all.
The only way to travel is Cadillac style.
The 1989 Cadillac El Dorado. V8 power and distinctive styling make it America's definitive personal luxury coupe.
Let's go, let's live every mile. The only way to travel is Cadillac style. Cadillac, Cadillac, Cadillac style. Cadillac, Cadillac, Cadillac style.
A psychotic killer, a desperate manhunt. Richard Crenna, Kate Capshaw, Internal Affairs, tonight on CBS.
Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. 7:20 remains in the third quarter, and the Cardinals really climbing up a mountain now, trailing 23-0 as Steve Young connected with Brent Jones on a 3-yard score for San Francisco to make it 23-0. This is Derek McAdoo returning the kick out. And a good piece of running out to the 27-yard line for number 33, Derek McAdoo. Well, as we've seen all of these results changing several of the close races, let's take a look ahead to next Sunday as the NFL Today will begin our activity on CBS. And then look at the huge one there, the Chicago Bears at Washington against the Redskins. And that'll be followed by the Giants against Phoenix right out here in Sun Devil Stadium, and the New Orleans Saints at the Los Angeles Rams. 4 o'clock Eastern time for those games, and check your listings to see the games that will be on in your area. First down, Lomax. J.T. Smith. First down to the 40-yard line of the Cardinals. Griffin and Fuller made the tackle.
That's the kind of protection Neil Lomax has needed all day. Stop those people up front short so he's got that clear vision downfield, and Neil's got to do his job by firing that football in there like he did that time to J.T. Smith.
Griffin getting some time on the right corner for Eric Wright for the 49ers. Stump Mitchell tackled from behind on a fine defensive play by Larry Roberts.
Clearly, Stump doesn't have the kind of speed he normally has in being able to turn the corner. And there you can see him. He has a slight limp. That ankle is still bothering him a great deal. And I think as a result, he can't make those cuts outside where you need that speed to be effective.
Second down, as you can see, again, just the definition of the way this game has been going. Time of possession, number of plays for the 49ers, more than double. They used up 6 minutes, 20 seconds on the drive that led to Jones' touchdown catch. Second down and 7. Lomax trying to find an open man again, and he got it to Awald, who could not hold on. Took a tough hit from Michael Walter. Incomplete.
When you look at this game and you start analyzing where it's gone and what's happened, you realize the one thing that the San Francisco 49ers have dominated this game both offensively and defensively. And they've gotten the takeaways when they needed them to change the complexion of the game around. And as a result, the Cardinals have really never gotten going in this football game.
Both teams came in the plus category on turnovers, but the 49ers have picked up 3 Cardinal fumbles so far. Third down, and early move by the 49er front, Charles Haley. He was so far offside, he didn't even bother tackling Lomax because he knew he was going to get nailed by the officials. Just gave him a little hug there.
He heard the wrong starter's gun. I guess he was about halfway down the track.
Offside, number 94, defense, third down.
No, is he kidding? Watch up the top of your screen. That's Haley. He's in the early motion. I think he thought that maybe Novacek was the guy that was going to snap the ball.
Haley's got 10 and a half sacks.
This guy is something else in the corner. He is a linebacker, is 245 pounds or so, 6'5", 6'6", and he can rush the passer.
But he hasn't had a sack today, so I think he was a little eager that time to add to his stats. Third down, 2 to go. Farrell struggling for the first down. I don't think he made it. Haley made the tackle. We'll wait and see on the measurement on this one, but it appears from our view that he was a little short. You never know. Depends on the spot of the ball.
And the crowd is saying, hey, look, even if the Cardinals didn't get the first down, they've got to go for it on fourth down if they were short. And it appears that they are because they're sending in some big people up front.
Fourth down, less than a yard, right on the center field stripe.
Ray
Ricky
Brown
Moore comes in for the first time. Ron Wolfley blocking running backs.
Ray Brown comes in, number 62, and he's going to play one of those tight end positions, offensive tackle.
Farrell has it.
That's that little check that you need every now and then to find out where your attitude is. Let's see what that offensive line for the Cardinals does up front. Let's see if they move that San Francisco defensive line off the line of scrimmage and reestablish it. Derek Kennard gets pushed back a little bit, but that allows Earl Farrell to slip in there on that right side of his offensive line and get the positive yardage he needed on the play.
Indeed, the linebacker Walter and the safety Fuller had to make the tackle, so the line was pushed back. First down. Lomax out to Farrell, eludes one tackler and gets about 9.
Tim McKyer, number 22, got a little lazy and a little slow on that play and should have really came in and nailed it, but he didn't. Now we've got a player down, and that is Joe Bostic, number 71. When you see an offensive lineman holding his helmet like that, it usually means that something is really hurting him, and it may be his knees. Had some operations done on him before.
Well, we'll get a report on Bostic as they attend to him down there and return to Sun Devil Stadium in a moment.
Introducing the totally new Cadillac DeVille and Fleetwood. Automobiles designed to share your priorities. Longer in length, more luxurious in appointment, and V8 in power. Truth, the most commanding automobiles in their class.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
The Tandy 1000HX computer is a great family gift. It was sale priced at only $4.99.
And with this color monitor, the system was still less than $7.99.
It's IBM PC compatible and comes with easy-to-use desk-made software.
So the kids can do homework, and we can play Christmas music.
And the $200 savings helps me balance our budget.
Save $200 on the Tandy 1000HX, only $4.99 with software. Complete system less than $7.99. Only at Radio Shack.
It's great. But we wanted a Bud Light. Bud Light!
If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Now go get pizza.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Between them, they've won 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. The Bears battle the Redskins next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Well, looking at the scores involving East and West teams, Philadelphia defeated the Rams earlier, and the Giants over Dallas. And in the third quarter, New Orleans has gone back in front of Washington, 24-17. So now the Giants at 7-3, and Philadelphia at 5-5. Washington and Phoenix obviously still underway, starting a game back. So let's now go for an update on that New Orleans-Washington game from Brent Musburger.
Well, Tim, this is the touchdown that put the Saints in command. Had this been 4th down, it would have been illegal. There's a fumble, and it is scooped up by another player, and he dashes on into the end zone. So Jordan gets a 6, and then they add the extra point. Morton Anderson kicked a field goal a short time ago, and the Saints right now in command, 24-17, but a long way to go. Let's go back to Tim.
Sounds like a good one and a key battle there at Washington. And meanwhile, unfortunately, we must report that Joe Bostic is still getting attention out there on the field. So, and now bear in mind that Bostic was in there replacing Todd Pete at left guard because Pete's been bothered by a leg injury, and they're bringing out now that ominous looking thing to wrap around his leg. So we've at least determined it's a leg injury, and we won't speculate further. But with Pete already hurt, now they're going to have to put Pete out there, perhaps play Ray Brown or Scott Dill.
Now here's the play. Number 71 is Bostic. You'll see him just on the right side of your screen. There he is right there. Now let's see what happens to him on the play. Many times what happens is somebody falls on the back of your legs, and that's exactly what happens to Bostic. There you see one of his own men lays out on the back of his knee, and that causes the leg injury. Now, he was wearing one of those braces that the offensive linemen wear, and you can see some of the other offensive linemen along there. Now, the gentleman with the hat has his brace in his hand. That's the knee brace that they try to get all these linemen to wear, and Bostic was wearing it, but still, you can't prevent an injury that happens when somebody falls on the back of your leg. It'll help them from the sides. You can see some of the other linemen have them on under their socks.
So Joe Bostic will get the ride off. There's the brace that he was wearing.
They call it a knee stabilizer, and it really helps in any shots that you take from the side. But unfortunately, nothing can be done for those tendons in the back of your leg and your knee when someone falls on the back of your leg.
So Bostic replaced by Todd Pete. And we'll take a quick look at what's happening in the NFC Central today. Atlanta over Green Bay with a shutout, and Minnesota beating up on the Lions, and Chicago without McMahon. Tomczak had a good day, and they beat Tampa Bay. So the Bears moved to 8-2. Of course, Mike Ditka having to miss that game on the sidelines because of his heart attack. And Minnesota at 6-4. That is going to be a race right to the wire in the NFC Central. Second down, a long yard for the Cardinals. Farrell has a first down to the 35-yard line. I think it's safe to say Phoenix has to score on this drive. 3:53 remaining third quarter. If they can get one with the explosive offense that they have, there's still time in the fourth for them to make something happen. Lomax going deep to the corner, and it is a touchdown. Roy Green. What a perfect pass. 35 yards, and Griffin, who was covering, injured himself on the play.
Neil Lomax again makes the quick read. Now they went off quick action here. Neil didn't have time to go back and huddle. He just set up, three-step drop, lost it up to Roy. He's going down the sideline. Now he pushes him back, fades a little bit towards that sideline, makes a beautiful reception on the play, and Don Griffin, number 29, and hurts himself on that same play. Another look at it. Lomax lost it down, gets good height on the ball, and that allows it to drop down in there for Roy Green, and Roy Green makes a nice catch. That's what you expect him to do.
And Griffin landed heavily on his left shoulder and then kind of got his arm twisted underneath himself with his body weight. So Griffin being attended to, and we've just had an injury to Joe Bostic now on the 49ers side. But there's Neil Lomax saying, guys, we've got lots of time. We're now on the scoreboard, and it's 23-6 with the point after coming up and 3:39 to go in the third quarter. Now it gives them a chance to get themselves back into this ball game. They can make big plays like that because they've got guys like Roy Green.
Well, earlier in the game, Roy dropped the pass I really thought that he should have caught, and now he comes back and makes a great reception on a play and scores a touchdown. Here we go, another look at it up front. We'll get a few games up front from the 49ers defensive line, but Neil Lomax has all the time that he needs on the play, gets plenty of air under the ball. Roy Green makes a nice reception over the shoulder, difficult catch to make, but he does it in good stride and takes it on into the end zone for 6. That makes Neil Lomax an awfully happy man.
74 yards and 8 plays for the Cardinals. Griffin still being attended to, and he's now on his feet and hopefully all right. The young cornerback who came in for Eric Wright, the starter in this game. Griffin, a third-year man from Middle Tennessee State.
Now what that will do is affect the nickel situation for the 49ers. Probably Tom Homo will come in and replace him in that nickel situation, nickel package.
Al Del Greco will attempt the point after, but stop the holder. And it is good. So the Cardinals finally break the ice here, and with 3:39 to go third quarter, they're back in it.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
On November 8th, 100 million Americans will gather to elect the next leader of the free world. The person who must keep our economy growing, who will affect our jobs, our taxes, and our freedom.
'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
One man has the experience to fill this office.
Shadows spilling across Sun Devil Stadium as we have 3:39 remaining third quarter. San Francisco on top 23-7. The Cardinals finally getting on the board. 74 yards in 8 plays. Lomax climaxing it with a 35-yard touchdown pass. Perfect strike to Roy Green. Del Greco to kick it off. DeBose and Taylor, the deep man for San Francisco. High and short. From the 16, Doug DeBose. And stopped at the 24-yard line. San Francisco will start from there as Ernie Jones made the stop. And yesterday in college football, The Georgia Bulldogs beat up on Florida 26-3, and Auburn did the same to Southern Mississippi. Next week at 2:30 Eastern Time, CBS Sports presents the Georgia Bulldogs against 9th-ranked Auburn, a battle between two teams in the thick of the hunt for a Sugar Bowl bid. From the 25, play action. Young has a man open, Rathman, and Rathman stepped out of bounds at the 36-yard line, has the first down. Such quite a shot. Actually, he gave quite a shot as he continued on upfield, but he had already stepped out. It's an 11-yard gain.
Well, now we can see how Steve Young plays with a little bit of a lead. Now he's got it. Let's see if he's flowing very freely, going out there, rolling out on those waggles, and getting out in that open and just setting up and just gently throwing those balls, the short balls, to the running backs and wide receivers. Now what kind of a game does he play when he knows he's ahead? Maybe get another score here, take it down and get an early score in the fourth quarter and really shake things up.
He's a good passer on the run. He can take those little rollouts and hit very accurately. Craig gets about 6 yards to the 47-yard line.
And remember the other day, though, Bill Walsh told us about Steve Young. He says the thing that he's doing so well now is he's throwing the long ball pretty well. And that's something that Steve did early on in his career fairly well. But he thought that he was really throwing the short ball a little bit better these days.
It now leaves a 2nd and 3 for Steve Young and company. 13 of 25 is numbers, 130 yards. Remember last week he started, I think, 4 for 10 against Minnesota, Dan, and then cranked it up in the second half, wound up, I think, 10 of 14 in the second half alone, and then produced the winning run. Young to Rathman out of the backfield. First down to the 42-yard line. The 49ers moving it at will again here as they did on their last drive.
Now, what's happening on this 40-liner offensive line is these guys, watch these guys right along the line of scrimmage. Watch them snap those arms out and stop that defensive lineman's rush right there. And that gives Steve Young that kind of clearance he needs to dump it off to Tom Rathman right over the middle. You've got to stop your man right up on the line of scrimmage. And now the Cardinals defensive line has got to get some penetration, start running some games to mix it up a little bit so guys like Tom Rathman aren't free across the middle like that.
Harry Sidney has come in to join Craig now. After the catch by Rathman, he gets a rest, and it's Harry Sidney cutting it into the middle and getting down into the 23-yard, the 32-yard line of Phoenix. Alvord and Jr. made the tackle.
Now watch this play right in the middle. Watch the center check back and watch the guard come back around on that X block, and he leads the play up in the middle for Harry Sidney. That's Jesse Sapulu. 61 gets a nice clean block there on Nico Noga right in the middle of the play, and that allows that back to slide up in there and get those couple of yards. But now they're going to start doing some fancy things up front on that offensive line, or to make it interesting in the fourth quarter especially.
2nd down and 2. 49ers driving again. And flags everywhere.
So Roger Craig put on the brakes, and he was sure hoping that Ken Harvey would do the same.
Yeah, it must have been a false start or illegal procedure against the 49ers.
False start, number 62, offense, 2nd down.
That's Guy McIntyre, the right guard, number 62.
I said it was going to get exciting up there. Guy McIntyre got so excited he wanted to go before everybody else.
Well, we saw the Cardinals come up with the big offensive drive and play that they needed to get themselves into the game. Now it's incumbent upon the defense to play their best of the afternoon. They've got to stop the 49ers here. They give up the points again, then all they've done, obviously, is to neutralize Lomax and Roy Green. Young trip from behind by Steve Alvord. So that brings up 3rd down, and they'll leave about 5 yards for a first.
Steve Albert showed great speed on that play and chasing down Steve Young from behind. And that's the one thing that this guy has, number 60, Albert, is good speed up on that defensive line. And the guy next to him, number 65, Dave Galloway, is one of those people that's kind of special along defensive lines. I remember when I was playing, the coaches would always circle him and say, hey, look, this is a guy that can make a lot of trouble for you.
Well, he's been out with an injury to his thumb. And this is his first start. He got in the last couple of games, and he's glad to be back. He's also got a foot problem that's bothering him. He had a shoe built, specially soled for him.
A steel arch put in the shoe.
Yeah. So we wind down here, ending the 3rd quarter, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. San Francisco 23, Phoenix 7. We now pause for a word from your local station.
This is CBS.
What's the smart way to find two on the aisle?
I've been searching.
The Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Pages.
So go find it.
What's the smart way to get away from it all?
I've been searching.
The Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Pages.
So go find it.
What's the smart way to get your kicks?
I've been searching.
The Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Pages.
So go find it.
And now, on with the opera.
From the people who brought you big screen television comes the sound to go with it.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give
Introducing Mitsubishi Home Theater System. Now playing at a dealer near you.
George Bush is complaining about Boston Harbor, but Bush's administration cut funds to clean up Boston Harbor. Bush's administration cut funds to clean up California's coast, from San Diego Harbor to San Francisco Bay. Bush opposed a crackdown on corporations releasing toxic waste. Bush even favored a veto of the Clean Water Act, not once, but twice. The nonpartisan League of Conservation Voters has endorsed Mike Dukakis. So when you hear George Bush talk about the environment, remember what he did to the environment.
Sunday night, Sunday at 12:15.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Michelob. One taste will tell you why the night belongs to Michelob. Atra Plus, Gillette made it smoother. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
We're back at Sun Devil Stadium. They've turned the lights on here with the shadows coming across the field. And we still have bright blue skies above.
In case you're wondering, those two cacti, I guess you would call them Tim Ryan and Dan Jiggetts. I was the taller one.
Yes, yes, you haven't changed. You're still taller. Absolutely. Cactus country here in Arizona.
I've got to go.
49er ball, 3rd down and 5. Biggest defensive play of the game so far for the Cardinals. They trail 23-7. They simply have to stop San Francisco here. 37-yard line of Phoenix. Rice in motion. Young escapes. Tackle, but he has the first down. A flag back behind the line of scrimmage.
Steve Wallace got in a little trouble in that play early. Tried to slide back and drop out and turn around. His quarterback was right behind him. And that indeed may be the reason why they got the holding penalty on the play.
Holding against the Niners. Harvey made the stop on Young, but Young had picked up the first down yardage, so a costly penalty.
Holding, number 61, offense, 3rd down.
Sapolu is the man charged with the holding. Good rush by the Cardinals.
And what happened, Ken Harvey came from outside. Now watch right up here. That's where the rush is going to come from. And inside, you're going to see 61 Sapolu. Now Wallace has got to drop back because he's getting that hard outside rush outside. Sapolu gets backed up inside, throws his man away. But I think that play actually happened. The penalty happened way back after that play had taken place. And Steve Young had taken off to the front of the line of scrimmage.
10 penalties by the Niners, only 2 for Phoenix, but it's the turnovers that have hurt the Cardinals today. 3 fumbles. 3rd down and long. And Steve Young opts for a timeout here.
Every time Steve Young gets that bear look or that 46 defensive look, he likes to go out and call a timeout and go over and talk to Bill Walsh to straighten things out.
So we'll return to Sun Devil Stadium in a moment.
Gillette has changed the face of shaving. First, we made it closer. Then we made it smoother. Atra Plus. Its Lubra Smooth Strip actually releases lubricants to glide the razor more smoothly. Incredible smoothness from the first stroke to the last. The Atra Plus system. First we made it closer, then we made it smoother.
year, the world's automakers will once again offer hordes of imitation BMWs. Meanwhile, for under $25,000, BMW offers something infinitely more valuable. The new BMW 325i. Why settle for a copy when you can own an original?
This NFL game summary is sponsored by BMW. This is where the fun starts. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets here in Tempe, Arizona. And so far, Roger Craig has been the offensive story of the game, 146 yards rushing. And we are just underway in the fourth quarter. 3 field goals by Michael Kofer and 3 turnovers hurting the Cardinals. 14:24 remain in the football game. And Dan, clearly they got the help from the penalty, but the Cardinals had a good rush on that play. They've got to stop San Francisco here.
They do, and one of the things that they're going to have to look out for is Steve Young springing loose like he did on that other play, trying to get upfield. That's where he's real dangerous as well. Want to keep that pressure on, but you have to keep your rush lanes.
Third down, 15. They got him. Ken Harvey, the California rookie. 3rd sack of the day for Phoenix.
Ken Harvey rushes very well from outside, as we said earlier. There he is right there. Watch him working against Steve Wallace, number 74, with the top of your screen. Now, Wallace checks down, and he's supposed to be blocked by Roger Craig. Craig does a good job initially, but then Ken Harvey just keeps coming. Steve Young can't find anybody downfield, and as a result, he takes the sack by Ken Harvey.
So the Cardinal defense did the job. J.T. Smith will await the punt from Barry Helton. Coming down at the 15-yard line. And Smith gets to the 21. 40-yard punt for Helton, a flag on the play.
Now, in that other play, I don't want to give the indication that Steve Wallace didn't do his assignment. He did. He checked down. Now that halfback has to pick up that blitzing linebacker, Harvey, and he just didn't do a real good job of it, Roger.
You would be sure to take the offensive lineman off the hook and blame it on the halfback.
Absolutely.
I understand that. I was waiting for you to do that.
And the way those guys have been blocking for Roger Craig, he'll take the blame.
Penalty is apparently against the 49ers, so a discussion down here with the Cardinals to see what the yard differential will be. Neil Lomax talking it over with Jerry Markbright. And now looking for some help from the Cardinal coaching staff.
And they're going to make him re-kick it.
Jimmy Stalling says, let him kick it again. Maybe JT can break something.
Number 55 on the kicking team. The foul occurred before possession change. Penalty enforced from the previous spot. 4th down again.
Jim Fonhorst picks up the penalty for the Niners, and they have been having a tough day in the penalty department.
That's a big turnaround, too, because you figure there may be a 15 to 20-yard differential from where they would have started out normally and to this point now when they have to re-kick the ball.
Fonhorst was saying, "What?" Moi. 35-yard line. They'll have a new line of scrimmage for this punt, and that backs up the punter Helton to his 20. Pretty good kick by Helton to the 20-yard line. J.T. Smith has a better return and gets it out to the 35. Stopped there by Bill Romanowski. 45-yard punt by Helton, but a good return by J.T. Smith. Well, next Sunday, you'll see the Bears winners over Tampa Bay at Washington against the Redskins. Redskins trailing in their game against New Orleans, and the Skins could fall to 5-5. A big game next week there. The Giants will be here in Phoenix. New Orleans will be at the L.A. Rams, and the New Orleans Saints and L.A. Rams started the day tied for the lead in the NFC West. First down. Cardinals. Lomax gets lots of time, but good coverage. He goes to the release man, Mitchell, and that's a gain of about 7. A flag down. Might be a face guard there.
Either that or Mike Fuller came in, number 49, came in late on the play. One of those two is going to be Jeff Fuller came in late on the play.
Walter on the tackle. They're going to get more out of it no matter what. Eric Wright there with Walter.
There's no foul on the play. There is no face mask foul on the play.
Well, the no matter what is now canceled.
Okay, I guess he grabbed some whiskers instead of the face mask, but here's a look at the play up close and personal. Stump tries to put a little move on there, a little shake at the line of scrimmage, and if that's not a face mask, I don't know what is.
I don't know either.
And that's another one. Hey, it was 2 for the price of 1 on the play. And then he gets the late hit on top of that.
Wow.
Stump's got to be saying, hey, the deck is stacked against me today. And certainly, Gene Stallings is expressing his displeasure with the play, with the call, I should say.
2nd and 3. Mitchell again has the first down, knocked out of bounds at the 50-yard line. And Lomax took quite a shot on the play.
And that's on that left hip, the one that he does not want to get hit. That's the one he has some arthritis problems with. Here's a look at the hit that he took just after he delivered the football. Louis Sharp backs up into him a little bit, and then Kevin Fagan pulls him down to the ground. So it wasn't too bad. He just kind of landed on that natural turf. But when your hip is hurt like that and you've got arthritis, anytime you touch it, it hurts.
First down inside the midfield stripe San Francisco territory. Good protection, and he finds J.T. Smith. Another Cardinal first down at the 29 of San Francisco. Eric Wright on the tackle. So the Cardinals moving the ball upfield here. 27-yard gain. And they stay with a hurry up here. Farrell, not much. Maybe 2 to the 25-yard line.
Cardinals have gone into fast forward now, going without a huddle.
3 plays in a row. Lomax again, good protection. He's got his man, Roy Green, to the 12-yard line. Ronnie Lott on the tackle.
And you can see Neil Lomax is calling the plays out as he's walking to the line of scrimmage. Everybody turns in, pays attention to the quarterback. He calls the play right there. You see him calling the signals right now, and he already has a pre-snap count.
Mitchell got a hold, cuts it back, lost the ball. Might have been down by contact. Ronnie Lott stripped it out. Was he down? And who came up with it? Looks like it's still Phoenix ball. J.T. Smith gets up slowly.
J.T. made the grab down there on the floor of the stadium. As a result, took a shot to the ribs. Here's another look at it. See Stump Mitchell, number 30. He makes his cut, tries to avoid a tackler there, gets kicked. And now he gets hit, and the ball gets stripped away by Ronnie Lott. Now watch J.T. Smith dive in. Well, he dove in and recovered the football for Phoenix.
Phoenix got the ball anyway. 2nd down. Timing pass to the corner, incomplete. Green, the intended receiver, covered by Tim McKyer. Jeff Fuller getting there to help.
And he was really walking on thin ice on that play, Tim McKyer was, because it was only a split second between getting a penalty for a pass interference on that play and getting away clean, and he did it.
So they have a huddle here. 3rd down. Ron Wolfley comes on, maybe delivering a play. Out comes Mitchell. 11:03 still to play, lots of time. Again, Lomax, good protection, but nobody open. Now he throws it, incomplete. Intended for Awalt. He was very close to the line of scrimmage when he delivered the ball. But Awalt was also near the end line, and I don't think he could bring it in, but a flag on the play.
What an offensive coach will always ask a receiver to do when he's down in the end zone and he sees his quarterback scrambling is to uncover. That is, move back the other way and give yourself an opportunity to catch the ball. But now we've got a penalty on the play, and it appears that maybe one of the offensive linemen for the Cardinals may have been downfield on the pass.
Ronnie Lott discussing it with the officials here to see what they want to do here. It was a 3rd down play, so you're looking at a possible 4th down upcoming here. And it looks like Ronnie Lott's going to opt for that.
Illegal man downfield on the pass. Number 70. Offense. Penalty declined. 4th down.
That was Derek Kennard, and perhaps he thought Lomax was turning it into a run.
Well, when you know that your quarterback's held the ball that long, you automatically think, I'm going to go downfield and try to throw another block for my quarterback to get him in for the score. So a very difficult situation to be put in as an offensive lineman.
So mass substitutions. It looks like about 8 49ers are changed on this play. 4th down. The ball is at the 7-yard line. And the field goal attempt will be made by Del Greco, with Stout holding it for him at the 15-yard line, just inside. So it'll be a 24-yard field goal officially. Al Del Greco, 8 of 13 on field goals this year. And he's got it. So the Cardinals have to settle for 3, but again, lots of time left. 10:51 still to play. Makes it 23-10.
This year, the world's automakers will once again offer hordes of imitation BMWs. Meanwhile, for under $25,000, BMW offers something infinitely more valuable. The new BMW 325i. Why settle for a copy when you can own an original?
In 1.3 billion years, our sun will burn out, leaving us in total darkness. We say it's never too early to stock up for the big night. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
Hey, are you watching me now, or did you videotape me before? Hey, if you tape me before, you're not watching me now. But if you use Fuji videotape, no matter how much later it is, it will always look as good as now. See you later.
Choose to make a difference.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Every time you reach for MasterCard from now through December, we'll donate money to 6 worthy causes, and you can help choose where the money goes.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Choose to make a difference. Choose MasterCard.
2 Southeastern Conference rivals in the thick of the hunt for a Sugar Bowl bid. The Bulldogs of Georgia battle the Auburn Tigers next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Tim Ryan, Dan Jacobs, Tempe, Arizona. Shadows almost completely covering the field here now at Sun Devil Stadium. They do have the lights on, and we have 10:51 still to play. A field goal by Al Del Greco. This man from 24 yards out has cut the San Francisco margin. It is now 23-10. Doug DeBose from the 4-yard line. Flag down as he slips through to the 23-yard line. Tackled there by Derek McAdoo.
Boy, I tell you what, Tom Rathman had the block of the day on special teams on that play. He took his man out, completely out of the play. He got a knockdown block. Look at him, you know he's smiling inside. That was a great block.
Yep, and boy, look, he's got all that dirt all over him, the mud, the whole thing.
Number 53 on the return. First down.
Of course, a guy like that who's blocking for Roger Craig is going to spend a lot of his time with his face buried into the sod after he's thrown block after block.
Right. You know, he's got everything going now. He's got the sweat, dirt, all the rest of that. You know, it's hot down here. They got a lot of sand on the field. So he's just in his element now. Look at him. He's penalty. A mess.
Penalty was against Bill Romanowski, and the crowd here, 65,000 strong, comes alive, imploring the defense to get the ball back. Craig stopped for maybe a yard. Ricky Hundley, David Galloway on the tackle.
That may be the first time that the 49ers have been stopped on that wide outside run. Now they're going to try to run a counter OT. Now watch those 2 backside linemen pull out on the left side of their offensive line, and they're not effective in getting out there because Dave Galloway tackles Harris Barton in the backfield, slows him down enough so that Roger Craig can't turn the corner and get things working for that offense.
Second down, 8. Young, incomplete for Brent Jones.
You saw in the pre-snap look, Dave Galloway switched positions with his outside linebacker, got outside the offensive tackle, and was able to stand right in Steve Young's line of vision. As a result, Steve couldn't settle in there and pop that pass off like he wanted to.
Third down. Big series of defensive downs for the Cardinals, obviously. They send on 3 new men. Travis comes in, linebacker Wayne Davis, and linebacker Ken Harvey. Out come E.J. Jr. and Sadler. Young, a little roll left, tackled from behind by Freddie Joe Nunn. 4th sack of the day by the Cardinals. Nunn now has 22 sacks in his last 22 games.
Steve Young tries to run away from Freddie Joe Nunn. He's right here. Now watch him go on the play, working against Harris Barton, puts that arm underneath. That's his favorite move, rushes him back there, and Steve never has a chance because he's a left-handed quarterback, has his back turned to the right side, and as a result, Freddie Joe Nunn slips in there, makes a sack, and then does his little dance.
Well, hold on to your helmets at home, folks, because this thing is changing complexion rapidly. Smith back to receive it. The punt will be from the end zone by Helton. Gets it away, and a good one. Smith from his 41. Slipped as he tried to cut, but he still has the ball at midfield. A 50-yard punt by Helton. Sam Kennedy made the tackle, and the Cardinals in good position here when we return to Sun Devil Stadium in a moment.
You know how moms are like. Bring home a new guy, they put their foot down. Come home a little late, they put their foot down. Well, my mom's no different. I get this great new Oldsmobile Cutlass Calais with a quad 4 engine. And what does she do? You got it. This is not your father's Oldsmobile. I put my foot down. Uh-oh. This is a new generation of old.
Buy a new 89 Cutlass Calais by November 30th and get $500 cash back.
You could bag your lunch to help save for that new house.
You want whole wheat or rye?
Give me rye.
Or you could save on homeowners insurance.
You want mustard or mayo?
Mayo.
Up to 15% off the insurance on newer homes with the Allstate New House discount. So why bag your lunch? Save on homeowners insurance.
Mixed fruit or pudding?
Do you want the truth?
Call and ask about the Allstate New House discount. Another reason.
On our way back to the stadium, Brent Musburger in New York with a program reminder. Next Saturday on CBS, our college football coverage continues with another Southeastern Conference classic, Georgia at Auburn. How about them dogs? Well, they trounced Florida yesterday to maintain a share of first in the SEC. Meantime, the number 9 Auburn Tigers, who chant War Eagle, won their 4th straight and are pointing to Saturday showdown. We'll have it for you at 2:30 Eastern. Now let's send you back to the game.
Tim Ryan with Dan Jiggets. Phoenix trails 23-10. They have the ball at midfield. Neil Lomax, the 4th-rated quarterback in the NFC. 13 of 22 today, 193 yards, a perfect touchdown strike, 35 yards to Roy Green. And now with that aroused defense, forcing the 49ers to punt from the end zone, they are still very much in this game, starting from midfield. Lomax, the offensive player of the month in the NFC with 9 touchdowns during the past month. Early movement. Were they drawn? Did they jump? Fagan and Carter both went.
You could hear Neil Lomax pulling him with that hard snap count.
Encroachment foul, number 95, defense, first down.
They give it to Carter.
Now, what Neil Lomax will do, you hear that hut, and then he snaps that second hut off. That pulls those defensive linemen off. He goes on 3. Michael Carter went on 2, and he gets the penalty.
A 3-5 for the Cardinals. Now at the 45 of the San Francisco 49ers. Good protection, going deep for Green. Can't hold on. Had the defender, Jeff Fuller, turned around, but I think Fuller maybe at the last instant accidentally got his hand on it. Let's see if we can see it in a close-up here.
Well, now Roy Green takes off downfield on the go pattern. Fuller comes over just at the last second, turns around. Now, what Roy really wanted was to fade a little bit on that play. Just that allows Fuller to get in front of him so he can catch the ball and fall into the end zone. Didn't happen for him the way that he really wanted it to. That was a tough catch to make, though.
It was. It looked like it went right through his hands, and he was either distracted by that up-thrust hand of Fuller's or picked his fingers. Lomax trying to get it off to prevent the sack. Doesn't do so. 49ers pick it off, but the play had been whistled dead. So they got a sack instead of an intercept.
That's the 6th sack of the day for the 49ers. Something that Gene Stallings told us the other day he was very concerned about. Now watching this area right here on the defensive line, that's where the games are going to be run, and that's where the sack is going to come from. Stubbs working outside. He goes in on the twist now. Fagan comes back. Stubbs grabs Lomax and pulls him down to the ground. The officials protecting the quarterback there call him in the grass. Makes a lot of sense on that play.
6 sacks by the 49ers, and it's been downhill the last several weeks in the sack department for the offensive line. The wide bodies, they only gave up 12 sacks in the first 5 games, but they've given up 19 in the last 4 games. That would put them on a mark of 55 at this pace for the season, one more than last year. They don't want that. Timeout called by the Cardinals. And the crowd booing them, Dan. You got some company here. The stadium announcer just referred to them as the St. Louis Cardinals, and they are still booing them.
Well, it's an honest mistake. You know, they were in St. Louis for quite some time. It's a little difficult for everybody to make that adjustment.
I wonder if that guy came with the club from St. Louis or whether he's a local.
Joe Montana's getting a little laugh out of that one as well. He's going, even though I know we're in Phoenix. Jerry Markbright, he's getting a laugh out of it as well.
Well, the Cardinals themselves are all business here. They know what they've got to do. That sack brought them back to midfield where they started here. So they've got a 3rd and 10. And the Cardinals, with 8:37 still to go, they've got ample time here, but they've got to make something happen this series. Now time for the 49ers defense to rise up as the Cardinals did and stop the Cardinal offense.
Third down conversions. The Phoenix Cardinals 0 for 9. Makes it kind of tough to win a ball game that way. You got to do it on 4th down or 2nd. It's got to happen somewhere. Hasn't been happening on 3rd down for them.
And tied from the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Novacek is one of them. They're tight end. Lomax got his man, and Ernie Jones has the first down. Ernie Jones, the rookie from Indiana, made a big play last week. There's a flag down, however, and it's going to be likely holding against Phoenix. Jones, the rookie, did a nice job catching the ball and then stepping to the first down marker. All for naught. Lomax has to do it again from farther back.
Holding, number 64, offense, 3rd down.
Todd Pete, who had been replaced earlier by Joe Bostic. Bostic got hurt. Pete back in.
Todd Pete is on that left guard position now. His man is beating him now, so the one thing you can do is lay down on top of him, and that's what he does. And when a wide body falls on top of somebody, officials take note of it. And indeed, that time Pete got caught.
Well, the Cardinals have been the better of the 2 passing units this quarter, but they now got to do it 3rd and 20. Lomax steps up, can't deliver the pass. Complete, so it'll bring up 4th down. Don't know whether that ball was tipped or not.
No, he got hit late by Larry Roberts just as he was delivering the ball, and then Larry pulled up off of him just a little bit, and the ball was back in his hand when he's trying to let it go.
Turned into a duck anyway.
That's it.
So it's 4th down, and they've just got the punt. 8:28 still to go. Taylor back to receive the punt from Greg Horn. Dandy. Bounces into the end zone, and will be a touchback. 60-yard punt. Cardinal. Kind of a weak little hand clap there by the Cardinal, yeah.
This one of the coaches got knocked down on the sideline, it appears. They are attending to him. was Bill Walsh, got involved on the play. Bill got a little dirty, too. He wanted to be like Rathman. He got jealous of Rathman when Rathman walked by. He says, hey, I got to get my uniform dirty, too. Look at his shoulder. Hey, Bill, way to get a little contact down there. Look at him. Hey, I played on natural turf today, guys.
Trying to restore his dignity here.
On the defense, number 21, before the ball was kicked, it's an automatic first down.
Wow. Wow, what a big penalty against Eric Wright. The Cardinals get a real huge break here. Well, now, Bill Welch will forget all about the embarrassment of being knocked on his butt. He is an angry coach. Lomax comes back out, and the Cardinals get a second life here. From the 45-yard line, 8:19 to go. 23-10. San Francisco lead. Mitchell to midfield, pulled down by Ricky Ellison. Gain of 5.
As I was saying earlier, Tim, the Cardinals are dangerous in the fourth quarter. 69 points, third most in the NFL. Lomax looks downfield.
He's got Earl Farrell for a first down.
I know what Neil Lomax would love to do is get some out routes, get something working to the out of bounds to save a little bit more of this clock. But here now you take it where you can get it.
Turner on the tackle. The Cardinals with a first down. Drop play. Farrell again for about 6, maybe 7 on the play. Michael Walter on the tackle.
Now this is when the conditioning factor starts showing up. The Cardinals are used to this heat down here, and I think the 49ers are breathing a little deeply.
Second down and 6. Lomax going deep. Overthrows Roy Green, who had a couple of steps on the defender.
And then you see Larry Roberts. He had a step on Neil Lomax. He got him late. But Roy Green had his man beat all the way on the play. And here's another look at it. He's working against Eric Wright, and he just smokes him down the sideline. And the only problem is the ball is overthrown by maybe about a yard or so. The winner about 3 or 4 years ago, Roy Green would have run under that one for 6 points. Injuries have slowed him just a bit. Guess old age catches up with all of us.
Well, it'll be an upset if it doesn't, I'll tell you that.
He's come back strong in this ball game, though, Roy Green.
Third down. Lomax, 15 of 26, and another big play staring him in the face. Taken down from behind by Larry Roberts. 7 sacks. He never saw him. Roberts sneaking in behind him. Lomax thought he was getting all kinds of time.
Well, he was getting all kinds of time for a 3-step drop. When you take the 3-step drop, you got to dump the football off. Now watch Larry Roberts. He's right there working against Todd Pete. He expects that this ball is going to be gone on a timing pattern. He jams his man up with a straight arm right there. Now, that's when Neil Lomax has to dump that ball off right now. If you wait that long, you're going to get the sack. There's no question about it.
Well, that was a great job by Roberts, and Todd Pete had actually done his job. Yeah,
that's right.
Extra effort. Taylor back to receive the punt. Horn angling, and that's going to be a dandy.
Well, he nailed it.
Where are they going to spot it? 6-yard line. Oh, and now they're coming up farther upfield to the 9.
I'd love to find out how those guys spot those two.
It's still pretty good inside the 10 for Horn. 48-yarder. He's punted awfully well today. Well, following all of our football activity today, the usual fine evening of entertainment on CBS, starting with 60 Minutes. Tonight, what keeps an old man young at heart? Just what you were talking about. Find out when 60 Minutes tries to keep up with that 92-year-old legend, George Burns. Followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the CBS miniseries Internal Affairs, Part 1. First down. Craig for about 4. 6:20, that clock now becoming a factor. Anthony Bell,
Guy
made the tackle.
McIntyre appears to be down on the play. He's the offensive guard for the 49ers, number 62. Take a look at some scores from around the league. A giant score looming big here for the Cardinals, as well as when you think about the playoff capabilities of the 49ers.
Cincinnati continuing to put a lot of points on the board. Doug Flutie, his team winning today. Atlanta shutting out Green Bay. 7 turnovers there. They'll kill you every time. Minnesota, big day for Wade Wilson in that game. And the Bears, without McMahon, without Coach Mike Ditka, Tomczak having perhaps his best day as a Bear, looks like.
Can you imagine how calm it was on the sideline? I certainly wish Mike well and wish him the best of health in coming back from that heart attack.
Best line of Ditka's after things were looking better for him. He says to his cardiologist as they look at the machine together, he said, "See, I've got a heart. People say I don't have one." Let's go to Brent Musburger for an update in New York.
Tim, here was the winning field goal for the Washington Redskins as they maneuvered down the field and set it up, and it was Chip Lohmiller who chipped it across, and the Redskins hand the New Orleans Saints a bitter setback, 27-24. Back to Tim.
All right, Brent. Jeff Briegel will come in for Guy McIntyre here as they assist McIntyre, number 62, off the field. And the 49ers having to move the ball, obviously. They've simply got to use up clock, keep possession. Cardinals defense last series absolutely stuffed them, got the ball back for Lomax and company.
And there's just a little over 6 minutes left on the clock. There's still plenty of time for the Cardinals to shake this game up.
But again, they're having to stop the 49ers right here. Under the 6-minute mark we go. Good shot for Craig. Stopped at the 15-yard line. Lonnie Young only got a couple on that play.
Lonnie Young, that's his responsibility as a free safety, is to come up and really punish that running back when he tries to force the play. And Lonnie Young, number 43, certainly did it on that play.
Well, and a big part of this story, obviously, Phoenix turning the ball over 4 times. And very, very costly indeed.
This is the guy who's on top of his game. He's getting a signal from the sideline calling the defense.
Lonnie Young, 45 tackles coming into the game, 36 solos, having a fine season. 3 wide receivers for the Niners, Taylor, Wilson, and Rice. 3rd down. They give it to Craig. Does not make it. Good defensive reaction to Craig. Ken Harvey made the stop. You're watching them in practice this week, the Cardinals. Everything was keyed on Roger Craig. Where he was lined up, somebody watching him to see where he's going. And they were unable to stop him here in terms of total yardage today, but that's a big place to stop him right there.
Overall, good team defense. You saw Roger Craig try to dip outside on the play where he's had so much success this whole ball game. Tries to get outside. They string it out to the sideline. He cuts it back, and they make the play with the inside linebackers and the defensive line.
So the Niners will have to punt. 4:27 remaining. Helton's punt, and didn't get all of that one. Taken by Smith at the 46 of the Cardinals, and he gets to midfield. Chuck Thomas made the stop. So again, Phoenix will start right from midfield. 36-yard punt that time. And so this is the obviously the spot where they've got to get a touchdown in this series. 4:11 to go if the Cardinals are to get back into this.
Now, if you're Neil Lomax, you start thinking, now, I want to use my timing passing game and maybe once or twice take a shot at Roy Green downfield, but I've got to work that sideline a little bit to save all the clock that I can. And if you're that offensive line, those wide bodies up front, you're thinking, I got to protect Neil Lomax. He's going from the spread situation now, so they're going to get a little bit more distance up front, a little bit more separation.
Lomax 15 and 27 at this point. Roy Green, a nice catch for a first down. The pass behind him. But the veteran made the spin and grabbed the ball.
Neil is calling out those signals once again. Fast forward on that offense. Now there's been a timeout call
by the Niners. So they stop the clock. 3:57 remaining.
A 40-second timeout.
You see the 49ers are switching up their defensive linemen. That's one of the things that Bill Walsh mentioned that he wanted to do, keep his people fresh by working in those other defensive linemen.
Yep. Well, it's now final. Washington over New Orleans, 27-24. New Orleans had the lead there for some time. Now, of course, there's an impact on both divisions with that one, as Washington pulls to 6-4. And now let's look at the NFC West. The New Orleans Saints, like the Rams, fall to 7-3. So a Niner victory would put them in a tie for first place in the NFC West. Meanwhile, Washington now at 6-4. And Phoenix trying to keep pace with the Redskins. They'd be a game behind the Giants, whose victory today moved them to 7-3. Two great battles in the National Football Conference in the East and West. And indeed, that Central Division, the Vikings keeping pace with the Bears.
Hey, they're a step or two behind, but there's no question as you come down the stretch, things are going to tighten up considerably. And here's the NFC East division. You see the Giants up on top at 7-3. Washington following them at 6-4. And Phoenix today, if they can win, will pull up even with Washington. If they don't, they're going to slide down there along with Philadelphia. Philadelphia always seems to find a little bit more magic every weekend. Somehow or another, they pull out those victories with a couple of seconds left, a couple of minutes left, whatever. You know, Randall Cunningham reaches in his pocket and finds some more magic.
Exciting guy. Neil Lomax trying to provide some excitement for the assembled 60,000 plus here at Sun Devil Stadium. First down, Cardinals inside the 40. They've got another first down. The tight end to the 30-yard line. Jay Novacek, number 85. Well, it might be just light of the first down.
Neil Lomax is taking advantage of these deep zones that the 49ers defense is in now, throwing up underneath of it and getting good yardage on plays.
Second and about a foot. Farrell nearly ran into an official, but he recovered very nicely and gets inside the 20 to the 19-yard line of San Francisco. Ronnie Lott on the tackle. First down, Phoenix. 3:20 on the clock. Effectively had a 4-minute drill going for Phoenix here. Wide open. Ernie Jones, the Indiana rookie. Pollard, number 26, Danny Pollard, an extra defensive back, made the stop. First and goal from the 3. Green in motion. Lomax, oh, wide open was Novacek. He slipped on the paint there in the end zone.
He slipped, putting on the brakes, trying to stop and come back for that Neil Lomax pass that was thrown just a little bit behind him. Now watch, straight up on the goalpost, right down the middle of your screen. Lomax pulls up here, pumps it there. Now he delivers it to Novacek, but it's just behind him. You saw Jay trying to stop. He puts on the brakes, but he can't get back over there.
Boy, he was wide open.
He sure was.
Second and goal. Out of the huddle this time. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 out to the left. Lomax, and it's knocked down. Batted down by Tom Holmoe, a blitzing safety man. Big defensive play.
What you've got to do now, look on the right side of the screen. You've got to block both of these safeties coming in, and you see Lott coming in the middle along with Holmoe, and he comes in unfettered and just slaps the ball away from Lomax. Lomax has got to make that read. It's a hot read. He's got to dump the football off. Holmoe makes a nice play.
Phoenix 114 yards to -6. Quite a turnaround here in the second half. But is it too little too late? He's got to get into the end zone. Farrell stopped for a loss. Holmoe and Fuller. 49ers with 2 big defensive plays, playing like they're ranking on defense number 4 in the league.
When you hire on, this is what you're asked to do. Right down in the middle here. Watch number 49. That's Fuller come in, make the stop along with Holmoe. He plays off the block. He grabs one leg. Fuller grabs the top, and they just take the guy down. Earl Farrell didn't stand a chance. He couldn't even get out of the backfield.
Well, now the Cardinals obviously have got to go for the touchdown here because they need 14 points to take the lead in this game. 2:25. So it's all come down to this. Terrific drive by the Cardinals, but once they got in close to the 2-yard line, fortunes turned against tough defense by the 49ers, who have driven them back 3 yards.
And you see those 49er defensive personnel, they're really panting down there because this heat is extraordinary down in this field. And in the fourth quarter, that's when it really starts draining you physically.
You're glad to see the sun go down, I'm sure, at this point.
So turn on the lights.
Well, you got the lights on and shadows across, so at least you're not getting that glaring sunlight. The temperature has dropped noticeably, but they were out there for 3 quarters in a blazing sun.
Now, what do you expect if you're a Cardinal fan here? I almost said it again. You're looking for some kind of a rub maybe down here, some kind of a pick play down in the end zone that frees up one of your receivers. And I'm certain that's one thing that Gene Stallings has been discussing with Neil Lomax.
Well, and a guy that, you know, they haven't really gone to much at all is Awalt. We'll see if he's out there. Novacek is on the field. They have made a couple of big plays to him, and they're going to go with Novacek and the wideouts. They've got Jones, Green, Smith, and Novacek. Farrell, the lone running back. Green is the motion man. Lomax trying to find a guy. He's got him. Touchdown. Ernie Jones. The number 8 pick from Indiana. The rookie comes up with a leaping catch for the score.
Neil Lomax did go with the pick play. That time Roy Green was open in the corner of the end zone, but also, hey, you give up something and you get something again. Neil Lomax checks off to Roy Green. You saw him look over there, looks back to Novacek now. He just pumps that ball right into the end zone, and Ernie Jones goes up and gets it and gets 6 points out of the play. But Ernie was one of those guys that was picking for Roy Green.
Well, Greco for the point after. And he's got it. 2:19 remains. Phoenix trails by 6.
Cliff Stout does a good job handling the snap on this play and gets it down for Del Greco. Good hands on the play and gets it down. Good concentration. Del Greco does his job. He hooked it a little bit, but it got in there.
Reserve tight end Mark Walzak has taken over the snapping chores from Scott Dill, a backup lineman who had been handling those duties but has struggled the last 2 or 3 weeks, and Stallings made a change. So Walzak nearly made what would have been an egregious error there had he not gotten that ball back to Stout. 50 yards in 8 plays, a 5-yard pass from Lomax to Ernie Jones. Hold on to your hats. 2:19 still to play. And the Cardinals are very much in this football game. They, of course, have got to get the ball right back. Steve Young, 14 of 27 on the day, has a touchdown pass to his credit. And the 49ers expecting the squib kick here, trying to get that ball. I've got only one guy back, Roger Craig. And the Hams team is spread out 2 lines across. Del Greco. And he lets it fly. Craig from the 1. Pretty good job to get out to the 15. When you don't have your blocking set up for that return, Roger Craig, who's done everything asked of him today, turned that into a pretty darn good return.
I'll tell you, it was a pretty darn good kick, too, by Del Greco. He got that square groove roll back on that kick, and it hit about the 1 or 2 yard line and spun right back out of there. Gene Stallings is out on the field shouting instructions on the play for the next play, making sure his guys understand exactly what he wants.
7 of 9 of the 49er games this year have been decided by an average of 3 points. They don't want a close one here today, but they're in it anyway. Roger Craig again. Gets about 6, tripped up by Galloway. 22 carries on the day for Craig. He's up over 150 yards as we hit the 2-minute warning here in Phoenix.
I'd rather switch than itch, so I switched to Tegrin.
Tegrin medicated shampoo controls all the major causes of itching and flaking, so Tegrin is more than strong enough for tough dandruff like yours.
Wouldn't you rather switch than itch?
Sundown, Luke! I'm calling you out!
Since 1896, some men have preferred to spend their nights in more rewarding pursuits. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
You wouldn't believe the stuff my dad had to do to get his hands on his dream machine. You name it, he'd do it. Here's my dream machine, the new Cutlass Supreme. And all I had to do to get one was go to my old dealer.
This is not your father's old mobile.
Ignition.
This is the new generation. Wow!
Buy a new 89 Cutlass Supreme by November 30th and get $500 cash back.
McDonald's presents Holiday Huggable Muppet Babies.
Button up, Kermie. Love 'em, hug 'em, Muppet Babies, hug 'em.
Right now, get your kids Baby Kermit, Baby Fozzie, or Baby Piggy. They're soft and huggable for a special price with any McDonald's food purchase.
Muppet Babies at our place. You can love 'em, hug 'em. Good night, Baby Piggy. At McDonald's.
A portion of the proceeds of each Muppet Baby plush toy will be donated to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities.
Well, Cardinals doing the job here in the second half. Whether it's too little too late, we're going to find out pretty soon.
Well, the one thing that they always do is they score in the second half. They're very successful in the second half, and certainly they've done that today. There you see the 7 points in the third quarter, 10 in the fourth, and if they can get this ball back here, there may be more.
49ers, 2nd and 3. Craig. Good pursuit. A loss on the play. Galloway, the man to knock him out of bounds, but two other guys, Hundley and Jr., made superb plays.
E.J. Jr. makes a great play, forces Roger Craig back into the backfield. Hundley comes along and pushes him a little bit further to the sideline. Galloway slips off a couple of blocks, goes to the sideline, and knocks Roger Craig out of bounds, and now they have to call a timeout.
And last charge timeout, Cardinals.
Well,
great
that's
defensive play, though. Good team defense.
Great defensive play, but now if they get the ball back on offense, no timeouts.
Well, watch number 54, E.J. Jr. on the outside of the play. He's going to be the first one. There you see him. He pushes Roger Craig out a little bit more. Ricky Hundley grabs a hold of a little jersey there, and Galloway makes the stop on the sideline. Now, I would say that ball was out of bounds. Roger Craig was forced out of bounds on the play, and the Cardinals should not have had to burn a timeout because of that to stop the clock. Now watch Galloway, Dave Galloway, number 65 here. He gets a shot on Roger Craig, knocks him out of bounds.
Absolutely.
And then indeed, they should not have had to call a timeout, and Gallagher gets real excited. He's a big guy. Galloway gets a little excited on that sideline. You don't want him to hurt that ankle again. Hey, this guy's a good football player, though. As I said before, when we used to play against him, the coaches would always circle him and say, this guy's going to play the full game.
And now, 3rd down, and a little farther back. About 4. Young running. Well, he dove, but let's see where they mark it.
Now the markers are going to come from the other side of the field.
He was in midair as he crossed that marker, but was he also out of bounds at the time?
We'll see the sticks are coming from the other side of the field to the first down marker, so we'll have to come from the far side to see where it's marked at.
Well, they put the ball down short.
From the end zone, Steve Young had already faked everybody out. E.J. Jr. comes over and tries to prevent him from getting the first down. Steve dives out. Now the question is, where did the ball go out of bounds? Break that plane to the sideline in relationship to where Steve went out.
The clock is stopped.
1:38 remains. Young extended the hand that didn't have the ball. And it may have been that where the ball went out was at the sideline just short. 4th and about a foot, or the length of a football. Now, Bill Waltz not happy.
If that ball is in his left hand and he's diving out of bounds and that ball goes out of bounds before he gets to the first down marker, he doesn't get the first down. If he carries the ball in the right hand and he goes out and he pushes it across, then he gets the first down. On that play, the ball is in his left hand. Now watch as he dives here. Let's see where that ball crosses that sideline and goes out of bounds right there. And it is a couple of yards shy of that first down marker.
Well, not a couple of yards, but at least where they've marked it, it's a good half yard or a little more. football.
Now there you see he's got to get to that marker. See, he's diving, but already that ball is out of bounds when he stretches out.
Now we're assuming that he was upset, Walsh, about whether or not he got to the marker or not.
Well, the fact of the matter is, even if he didn't, it can be fourth down, and you can go for it if you want to, or you can punt it away. And in that case, the Cardinals have a shot at it.
Well, you saw the replay, gentlemen, taking a look at it. That is George Sladke today in charge of the replay. And we're told that it's inconclusive, so it is going to stand as it is. Now, what kind of a play do the 49ers call here?
The play stands is called. It's fourth down.
Punt.
And he's going to punt it.
This is the time when if you're the 49ers and you're Bill Walsh, you've got to believe in your defense. So we can play well enough to stop them on the drive and get the ball back and then run out the clock.
Number 4 defense in the entire NFL.
Critical call there. Critical call for the 49ers as well as for the Cardinals.
Smith back to receive Helton's punt. Smith at the 35-yard line. High snap. Helton, pretty good punt. Smith ran into a blocker and got to the 34-yard line. Ankle tackle made by Harry Sidney. A 49-yard punt by Helton, who's had quite a day kicking the football.
And keep in mind,
1:27 left.
And keep in mind, the Cardinals have no timeouts remaining. You see there on the graphic, San Francisco's got one. That means they've got to work that sideline now, as we talked about earlier when they were in their hurry-up or fast-forward offense, like I like to call it, going without a huddle. You see Ronnie Lott screaming at his guys, hey, this is when everything is on the line and we've got to do it.
Lomax now 20 of 34, 257 yards, most of it in the second half. Took some time, has Smith open, short of the first down.
You will find those routes open on the field now. As they work down the field, they'll tighten up on those inside moves, but they're going to leave those open as opposed to the outside of the out-of-bounds moves.
Ernie Jones to the 43-yard line of San Francisco. 55 seconds. They need a touchdown. Converted. Lomax just got that one off. Haley had him at his sights. A blocker picked him up at the last instant. Louis Sharp managed to hold off Haley. That stops the clock with 45 seconds.
And the good news for the Cardinals is the fact that they stopped the clock. Indeed, now they get a chance to set up about 2 or 3 more plays in the huddle. They'll go without a huddle for the next couple of plays. They'll already call them in the huddle, get up to the line of scrimmage, and just keep working downfield.
Second down. J.T. Smith in the middle of the field again to the 32-yard line. Turner and Fuller on the stop. 30 seconds left. Pretty slow getting this one off. Shotgun. Deep sideline. Ernie Jones inside the 10. Does not get out of bounds. 18 seconds.
Ernie Jones makes another critical catch, just as he did last week against Dallas.
Great catch, but would have been better off getting out if he could. And quickly, Lomax just dumps that on the ground. 6 seconds. As Lomax got the clock stopped the only way he could. Can't really blame Jones catching the ball on the inside, trying to get a little more yardage closer to the end zone.
Well, the other thing, too, is that the ball wasn't thrown, so he caught it in stride. He had to jump up and catch the football and then try to make sure he was in bounds, then maybe try to check out the out of bounds, but he really never could get over there.
6 seconds, 10-yard line, 6-point differential. 49ers led 16-0 at halftime.
The 49ers ran about 3 or 4 players on the field just as the ball was about to be snapped, and that's what Neil Lomax is complaining about.
Charge timeout, San Francisco.
So 49ers charged with a timeout. They're last. I don't think that's going to be much of a factor.
Well, they had the wrong personnel on the field, and that's why they tried to run some more defensive backs on the field in that late moment just before the ball was snapped. As a result, they were charged with it. They had to call a timeout. Neil Lomax, you've got to be thinking again, once again, a pick pass down here, very close to the end zone. Put those wide receivers out 3 to one side, have 2 of them run an inside route or an outside route, and have your other receiver come back up underneath, and either he's going to be open going to that outside to the end zone, or one of those 2 other receivers coming across on the picks is going to be open.
They had a man wide open the last time they were down here, and the tight end Novacek didn't click on the play, but the 49ers were able to stop him, hold him to a field goal last time down in tight, but they've simply got to score with a major here.
And Neil Lomax, previous to getting into the huddle, was trying to quiet the crowd down in this end, in the bowl-shaped end of the stadium, because they're making so much noise, his linemen can't hear the snap count. You see Luis Sharp doing the same.
7 defensive backs in the secondary of San Francisco. 4 receivers and Farrell for Phoenix. Roy Green, touchdown! Second touchdown pass of the day to Roy Green. It's up to Al Del Greco.
Keep in mind the snapper on the play. Walzak. Got to get that ball back.
Is the guy who replaced Scott Dill in this department. He had a high snap last time. Stout pulled it down, and Del Greco connected. It has come down to Al Del Greco.
I'm wondering if they're reviewing this play down on the field, and it appears that they are indeed doing that.
Well, he was near the end line, but it appeared, to me at least, from our bird's eye view, that he got both feet in the end zone.
Roy knew it. We knew it. Everybody watching it knew it.
Del Greco is 26 of 27 coming into the game. He's been perfect here today, so he's only missed 1. In the point after department. The crowd goes silent. Yes.
Here's the isolation. Roy Green, number 81, working inside. Shake move there. Now watch him head up straight into the end zone. A little push off there. Now, does he catch this football before he reaches that end line? Yes, indeed, he does. He makes the reception and then slides out of bounds at the back end of the end zone. Here's another look at it. Watch him down in the middle of your screen. Shake move off the line of scrimmage. Neil Lomax lofts it perfectly to Roy. He makes the reception and then goes out of bounds. 6 points. Cardinals go on now. They're up 1 point, 24-23.
3 seconds remain.
They're going to start calling these guys the cardiac Cardinals again.
And the 49ers in another tight finish score-wise.
Timing pattern. You saw Neil Lomax just drop back, loft it up over there. Watch Roy reach in, makes a great grab there. Hey, 6 points. I don't know why they were reviewing that one.
That was clear as crystal clear water.
Well, officially, the replay judge, George Sladky, says inconclusive play stands, and they've kicked the point after to take this 1-point lead. So it'll take a run back. Gene's wife, Mrs. Stallings, there. She looks like she's just relieved more than excited at this point.
Roy Green came back and made the kinds of plays you expect an old pro to make. Had a little trouble in that first quarter, dropped the ball or two. I got on him pretty bad, but boy, did he come back in this football game. Still got it.
2 touchdown passes to Roy Green from Neil Lomax. What a comeback by the Cardinals, who trailed 23-0 in this game. Good kickoff. Taken by Chuck Thomas, an offensive lineman, and school is out. Phoenix. 24-23, the Cardinals win it.